Chapter 527 Hay Fever. Mr. Lewis, I have good news and bad news for you. Which one do you want to hear first? Good news. I've thought of a solution, Chen Zhao said with a smile. Really? Hearing Chen Zhao's words, Lewis jumped up in excitement. Sit down. Don't be so excited yet. What's the bad news? Lewis asked, calming down. You might have another brother, Chen Zhao said. What do you mean? Chen Zhao looked at Lewis's arm. Are you still hiding? You want me to beat you up again? Lewis felt fear from his right arm again. Just then, his arm began to move toward the exit wildly, as if it was trying to escape. Chen Zhao had frightened it. Suddenly, an enormous bear appeared before Lewis. Ah! Run! Lewis wanted to run away. But his right arm continued to pull him forward. The bear was right in front of them. Suddenly, his arm turned black and enlarged. It became a humanoid and struck at Princess. Slap! Princess slapped Lewis's arm with her claw and Lewis flew back. She could feel malicious intent from the right arm. She would not allow a stranger to do whatever he wanted. Mr. Chen, help me. There's a bear. Chen Zhao stood still and stared at Lewis. In his fear, Lewis ran back to Chen Zhao. Chen Zhao grabbed his right arm. Do you want me to tear you off? Lewis felt greater horror coming from his arm. Nevertheless, the arm finally calmed down and stopped controlling his body. Look, it's not moving anymore. Mr. Chen, what's happening? What's that bear? She's Princess, my pet. Lewis stared at Princess and swallowed some saliva. He had never seen such a huge bear before. He felt that the bear could easily swallow half of his body in one bite. Your arm has developed its own awareness long ago. It has been trying to corrode your body, Chen Zhao said. What? You have two choices. Cut it off once and for all or keep it. Are there no other ways? I told you that it has a different lineage from you. Ultimately, you're two different individuals. What can I do other than cutting it off? Talk to it. How? It can understand you. As for what you say, it's your business. Looking at his arm, Lewis seemed to be very hesitant. He looked around for a while. After a few minutes, he finally said, Mr. Chen said that you're my brother. Fine, whatever you are, I would like to talk with you. What do you think? The right arm moved up and down. As an outsider, Chen Zhao had no idea what the arm meant. But Lewis could feel its presence. Lewis continued, I don't want to cut you off. I don't want to become disabled after all. But if you still want to corrode me and control my body, I'll ask Mr. Chen to cut you off entirely. I believe you know that he has the ability to do so. The right arm started to tremble. Clearly it knew how powerful Chen Zhao was. So unless I need it, stop controlling my right arm by force. That is, you have to listen to me, alright? Suddenly, Lewis felt his arm's awareness. What can I get? At least you won't be killed, Lewis said. Also, even if you do manage to occupy my body, you won't be able to enjoy it. Mr. Chen will definitely find you and kill you. Chen Zhao rolled his eyes. I'm not that lame unless you pay me. Aren't you a famous rich man? Why aren't you realistic in talking about money? Chen Zhao looked at Lewis with some contempt. He had no idea that Lewis thought there was no way money could attract Chen Zhao. Have a good conversation with it. If you still can't solve the problem, come here and I'll amputate your arm. Lewis's right arm shivered. It was clearly extremely scared of Chen Zhao. Mr. Chen, do you think I should give it a name? It's my brother after all. Chen Zhao realized that while Lewis was an accomplished businessman, he was somewhat foolish in real life. He also seemed to be interested in supernatural things. For example, he employed the first evil spirit that he met. Now he had a non-human brother, and he wanted to give it a name. Up to you. They seem to have had a nice agreement. Chen Zhao did not want to interfere with their business. How about Little Black? Mr. Lewis, don't you think that name is too vulgar? Little Black it is. Are you even listening to me? Mr. Chen, you have so many pets. Mr. Lewis, I won't be asking you to stay for lunch. With a dark look, Chen Zhao chased Lewis out. Then he continued to investigate the key. Like the metallic box, the key was invisible to others. Were the two related? Chen Zhao took the metallic box and placed the key before the box. Nothing happened. They seemed to be unrelated. Forget it. Chen Zhao inspected the two for a long while but did not discover any relation. Apart from being invisible to others, the two objects had nothing in common. Achoo! Chen Zhao rubbed his nose, which felt rather itchy. Seemed like hay fever and allergy. Although Chen Zhao was significantly stronger than a normal person, he was still not immune to hay fever. Nevertheless, he did not have any serious symptoms. It was only an itchy nose and occasional sneezing. It was spring and flowers were blooming, including many wildflowers in the mountains. Chen Zhao took some allergy medicine, but the symptoms did not improve. In the evening, Fei Lai came back, and Chen Zhao's symptoms worsened. Chen, are you ill? No, just hay fever. Are you allergic to pollen? Fei Lai was surprised. After all, it was the first time she saw Chen Zhao ill since they met. She almost thought that Chen Zhao would never fall ill. Of course, allergy was different from diseases. Chen Zhao was also helpless. It was the first time he had hay fever. He did not even know that he was allergic. Achoo! During dinner, Chen Zhao could not control himself and sneezed to the side. In the end, the chair beside him was blasted into pieces. Fei Lai stared at Chen Zhao for a while and was totally speechless. Just then Chen Zhao received a call from Sienna. Chen, are you free? Chapter 528. Allergic to magic. What's wrong? You gave me 3 bones from a magical creature before, right? I'm collecting ingredients now and I'm missing a blue heart blossom. We discovered it in the mountains, but we encountered a magical creature protecting it. We can't beat it. We? Is Rupert with you? Of course. She has a share of the magic potion too, so she can't just stand by and watch. How come this has gone from an urban story to a fantasy? How come there are even protective beasts now? Chen Zhao squeezed his nose. Okay. I'll come over now. Fei Lai looked at Chen Zhao. You're going out? But you don't seem well now. It's okay. It's nothing except sneezing. Chen Zhao didn't feel any other effect on his body. Drive slowly, Fei Lai said. Yeah. Chen Zhao took 2 more allergy pills, cleaned up quickly and started driving. But he didn't get any relief from the allergy. The medicine seemed ineffective on him. Achoo! He shattered the car window with his sneeze. The symptoms seemed to have gotten worse. Chen Zhao felt his head grow a bit heavy. This didn't feel like a normal allergic reaction. He didn't have time to think about this though. Chen Zhao parked the car where Sienna had told him to. Her car was parked beside the road nearby. After getting out of the car, Chen Zhao called Sienna. Sienna, I'm here, Achoo. Chen Zhao looked and saw that he'd broken his phone with his sneeze. A while later, Sienna and Rupert found Chen Zhao. Camilla was also there. Chun, you don't seem to be well today. I don't know. I think I'm allergic to pollen. Then can you still fight? Sienna asked. That guardian beast doesn't seem easy to deal with. Chen Zhao's nose started itching again, but he just opened his mouth. The sneeze wouldn't come out. It's okay. Let me go look first. Chen Zhao rubbed his nose. Are you sure you're okay? I'm okay. Let's go. Mr. Chen, your magic seems very unstable, Camilla said. Did you eat something that contained magic recently? Chen Zhao squeezed his nose. Just the potion Sienna gave me. The magic potion is very stable, Sienna said. It's impossible to cause these symptoms. Don't blame everything on me. Rupert drank the potion too and she's completely fine. I met a really vicious evil spirit 2 days ago and swallowed him, Chen Zhao said. What kind of evil spirit? Camilla asked. Some evil spirit called the Grandfather in New York City. Grandfather? The grandfather from the Evil Spirit Society? Camilla was in disbelief. Yeah, you know him. How can I not know him? That's the grandfather. Teacher, is the grandfather really powerful? Sienna asked curiously. Rupert pursed her lips. It's just an evil spirit. How powerful can it be? More than 100 witches have died in the grandfather's hand. When Camilla said that, Rupert and Sienna's expressions froze. How is that possible? How can an evil spirit kill so many witches? Over 200 years, the grandfather battled alone on and off with the largest witch organization of New York City. The Witch Society of New York is larger than all of the witches in LA put together. Do you understand how strong he is now? Rupert and Sienna both had incredulous expressions. An evil spirit who could fight against more than 100 witches. Just how terrifying were his abilities? I'd faced the grandfather once, Camilla said. It was 30 years ago. At that time, the grandfather led the Evil Spirit Society in an all-out war against the Witch Society. The Witch Society called for reinforcements from the entire country. 300 witches gathered in New York. Both sides declared war, and the grandfather killed at least 30 witches in that battle. Both sides seem to have had similar losses, but in actuality the Witch Society lost. My abilities were already pretty extraordinary at that time, but I couldn't even hold off that beast for 3 minutes. Sienna and Rupert looked at Chan Zhao again. They learned how terrifying the grandfather was from Camilla's memories. He'd killed 30 witches on the spot, and made the enormous Witch Society to ask for reinforcements from the entire country. And he was killed by Chan Zhao. How did you get into a conflict with the grandfather? His son, I think his name was Adalway. He took over my hotel room, so I killed him. Then the grandfather led the Evil Spirit Society to take revenge. Rupert stared at Chan Zhao. No matter how arrogant she was, she had to admit right now that Chan Zhao was truly terrifying. That grandfather is really strong, right? Yeah, pretty strong. Chan Zhao bared the mouth of gluttony. But this mouth of mine swallowed his head. Right then Chan Zhao felt that the mouth of gluttony needed to sneeze too. But the sneeze wouldn't come out. Mr. Chan, you're very strong. But it's clear that you're not very knowledgeable about magic. There are many types of creatures with magical abilities, but you can't eat all of them. This is also why we need potions. Only potions can provide the user with stable magic, instead of having unstable magic waves like other sources. So right now You're allergic to magic, Camilla said. What should I do? Will I die? No, it's just like most allergies, Camilla said. You'll have an allergic reaction for a time, but it's not fatal. Achoo! Chan Zhao sneezed again. Rupert and Sienna felt a gust of magic sweep towards them. This man must be a monster, the two thought. His sneeze was like a tornado. Chun, how about we call it off today? Sienna said. You're not well today. It's okay. I just need to sneeze. There are no other effects, Chun Zhao said. He rubbed his nose. It felt like he needed to sneeze more. Are you sure you're okay? Sienna definitely had no doubts about Chan Zhao's abilities, especially after hearing Camilla talk about Chan Zhao's glorious yet horrifying achievement. Even more, she didn't doubt whether Chan Zhao could help her defeat that guardian beast or not. She was worried about Chan Zhao's health. Just don't stand in front of me when I sneeze. Chan Zhao tried putting the mouth of gluttony away but couldn't. It seemed that the mouth had an allergic reaction too. Chan Zhao could feel its discomfort. It seemed to need to sneeze too. Chapter 529. Witch Mercenaries. How far is it? Chan Zhao asked. Sienna turned around and looked at Chan Zhao. She had never seen Chan Zhao tired. But today she did. Chan Zhao was really in a bad state, and it was obvious. He was covered in cold sweat and his breathing had also become heavier. Almost there. It's just in front. Sienna looked at Chan Zhao worried. Chun, I think we should go back now and come after you recover. I'm fine. We're already here. Just then they heard footsteps before them. From the sound there were a few people. 4 or 5. The group stopped. The few people also seemed to notice their footsteps. Huh, there are people apart from us. 1, 2, 3, and a guardian spirit. Should be local witches in LA. 5 women walked out of the darkness. From their equipment they seemed to be mercenaries. They had guns, grenades, and bulletproof vests. Hey you there, you shouldn't be here. You better leave this place. Why? Who the hell are you? Intrepid Rupert had never been scared of anyone, apart from Chan Zhao who was right behind her. Boom! Suddenly, a bowl-sized hole appeared on the tree trunk beside Rupert. The gun in their leader's hands was smoking. Because of this, girl, if you're still stubborn, the next thing that will be blasted will be your head. You dare to attack me? Furious, Rupert whipped out her magic wand. Rupert, calm down. Sienna stopped Rupert. They're all witches. To be honest, Chen Zhao was also surprised to see witches dressed up like mercenaries. It was a strange sight. Girl, you should listen to your sister. The leader of the witches blew at her smoking gun, and the other witches laughed. You must be here for the magical guardian beast. It's ours. You may leave now. Rupert took 2 steps back. Chen finished them all. Chen Zhao had been rubbing his nose and seemed to be in a daze. Huh, what? You can't win us, so you asked a wizard to fight us? Girl, have you mistaken something? Rupert, Chen is ill. Don't look for trouble. Look for trouble? They looked for trouble first. Suddenly, Chen Zhao's eye of shadow vision opened. He immediately pulled Rupert and Sienna onto the ground. The next moment, a 5-meter-long beast rushed past where they were standing. Because of Chen Zhao's action, the enormous beast grabbed nothing but air. However, the beast did not stop and disappeared into the darkness at once. It knows how to sneak attack. Rupert rubbed off the soil on her face. The 5 strangely dressed witches also shouted, ready for combat, form an array. With their backs facing each other, the 5 witches withdrew their guns. They had various weird-looking pieces of equipment. Lying on the ground, Chen Zhao asked softly, "What's with those 5 women? Are they really witches? They look like mercenaries." "They're indeed mercenaries." "Which mercenaries?" Camilla answered. "The guns they are holding are refined magic guns. And that pair of night goggles are actually magic night goggles which can detect hidden magical fluctuations. They look so much more professional than y'all, at least in terms of equipment," Chen Zhao remarked. "They just look more advanced. I can easily take down 10 of them," Rupert said with contempt. All of them could tell that Rupert was exaggerating. Nevertheless, they had to admit that the witch mercenaries indeed looked professional. They were acting very much like mercenaries. Target at 11 o'clock. 300 meters away. Don't shoot. It's too far. 200, 150, 150. 30. Shoot. Bam bam. The 5 witch mercenaries fired simultaneously. Their guns were firing bullets infused with magical power. Target hit, minor injury. Target is moving away from us. Wait. Another target at 4 o'clock. There is more than one target. Be careful. Chen Zhao, Sienna, and Rupert lay on the ground as the 5 witches fired in different directions. The 3 could not even lift their heads. Chen Zhao's condition had worsened. Sienna glanced at Chen Zhao, who had been rubbing his nose. "Chun, are you all right? The gun smoke is making me choke." "Their weapons have been magically refined. Even the smoke contains magical power, so it's irritating your body," Camilla said. Just then, the gunshots became more intense and the 5 witch mercenaries also looked anxious. The situation had exceeded their expectations. They had originally thought that there was only one target. However, there were more magical guardian beasts than they thought. It was significantly more. Their firepower was insufficient to deal with so many of them. "There are 6 of them. You all quickly come and help if you don't want to die here too. Weren't you boasting just now?" Rupert said aggressively. "Why are you asking us to save you now? We're not asking you to save us. We're asking you to save yourselves. We're not helping. Go and die." Rupert shouted. "If we die, so will you. I'm not scared. We have Chun." "Chun? You mean him? You sure this wizard can handle magical guardian beasts? All 6 of them?" "Also, he looks sick," one of the witch mercenaries noted. Chen Zhao stood up staggering as he gasped for air. Suddenly he felt a gust of wind from behind. "Careful! Behind you!" one of the witches shouted. "Lie down!" Because Chen Zhao was standing, the witch mercenaries could not shoot. Chen Zhao turned his head and opened his mouth wide. He felt that his nose had reached its limit. Achoo! Boom! An extensive wave of magical power swept out as Chun Zhao sneezed into the guardian beast's mouth. Then, the magical guardian beast exploded without warning. A cloud of blood permeated the surrounding air. Chun Zhao's entire body was covered in blood and filth. Chapter 530. The magical guardian beast releases Sword Chi 2. Everyone froze, especially the 5 assassin witches. They all looked at Chun Zhao dumbly. What was going on? Did he just kill a guardian beast with a sneeze? Just then the eye of shadow vision started up again. Chun Zhao suddenly moved, his left arm swinging. A guardian beast that was attacking him sneakily got smashed with a fist. However, this beast retreated extremely quickly. After Chun Zhao punched it, it immediately disappeared in the darkness. So strong. These guardian beasts were all above 5 meters tall and absolute killing machines. This man actually sent a beast back with one fist. However, Chun Zhao's punch was an everyday thing for Rupert and Sienna. These magical guardian beasts don't seem to be attacking us anymore. They've all turned to target him. Magical guardian beasts hold grudges. That man killed their companion. They already view him as their mortal enemy now. Then what do we do now? Let's just watch first. Chun Zhao felt that the mouth of gluttony in his right arm wanted to sneeze too. Rupert, Sienna, move aside. Sienna and Rupert didn't dally. Chun Zhao raised his right arm. It suddenly enlarged uncontrollably. Boom! The sneeze from the mouth of gluttony was much fiercer than Chun Zhao's. Countless trees within a dozen meters all snapped in half. The bark on some of the trees was scraped to the side by the sneeze, skinning the trunks. Ooh, feels great. Chun Zhao suddenly felt relief. He was much more comfortable. His nose didn't itch as much. The mouth of gluttony didn't have the urge to sneeze either. Even though he'd released a great amount of magic just then, Chun Zhao felt much more comfortable. His entire body was relaxed. Fuck. Does that guy have a cannon in his mouth and arm? The 5 assassin witches were all stunned. They'd never seen a creature like him before. That guy is the strongest wizard in Ella, Rupert said proudly. 5 guardian beasts hid in the darkness, circling Chun Zhao. Chun Zhao's eye of shadow vision could accurately pinpoint their movements. They're coming. Chun Zhao swung his right arm immediately. With a thud, the guardian beast that had charged was smacked by Chun Zhao's right arm. If it was punched by Chun Zhao's left arm, it would at most be in pain. But if hit by his right arm, it was no different than getting hit by a train. Even though they were magical creatures, they still had bodies of flesh. In that instant, blood and flesh flew. Only half of that guardian beast's body remained. Including its head, its upper body had completely disappeared. Such terrifying strength. The 5 assassins gaped at Chun Zhao dumbfounded. Is this what true supernatural strength is? Then what were we even training before? Damn. One of the assassin witches lowered her voice and whispered, "Thank God we didn't start any direct conflict. If they were punched by that guy, they'd probably end up in worse state than that magical guardian beast." Just then Camilla called, "Chun, be careful. Some guardian beasts have blood coexistence." Chun Zhao had a blank expression. He didn't know what that meant at all. But when the others heard, their expressions all changed. "Chun, if you kill one, the others will get stronger." Hearing Sienna, Chun Zhao nodded lightly. Just then, 2 more guardian beasts attacked Chun Zhao from the left and right. Their sneak attacks were useless on Chun Zhao. The eye of shadow vision could accurately catch all of their movements. Chun Zhao raised his right fist, pulled back and punched. One guardian beast got its head smashed, but the fist continued to the other side without slowing down. Unfortunately, the force weakened. When the other beast got punched by Chun Zhao, it only spat out some blood before quickly hiding into the darkness. 3 left. Just then, another charged over. Chun Zhao raised his right arm again. He happened to grab the beast's head. Crack. He squeezed the guardian beast's head and burst it. The 5 assassin witches gaped at Chun Zhao. Compared to the guardian beasts, this guy was more like a monster. The beasts by his foot were all killed by him alone. 2. The remaining 2 guardian beasts suddenly turned extremely fast. Everyone heard the sound of the wind around them. So fast. These two guardian beasts are too fast. There were only two left, but they were much more threatening than the six together. Chen Zhao could still catch their figures, but they were indeed too fast to be dealt with. Even Chen Zhao had no solutions. No, he had to think of a solution. If he could release another sneeze bomb, he might have a chance. But because they were sneeze bombs, they weren't up to Chen Zhao to decide. At least Chen Zhao couldn't sneeze at will right now. Finally, the two beasts attacked Chen Zhao from the front and back. Chen Zhao stepped out. He was no longer staying in place. Instead, he charged directly at the beast. All of his power was built up in his right arm. He faced the front beast directly. Boom! Chen Zhao grew dizzy from the crash, but the guardian beast also fell to the ground. Just then the other beast jumped behind Chen Zhao and bit his right shoulder. Chen Zhao grabbed backward and did an over-the-shoulder throw. Just as he was about to add in a punch, the other beast pounced and tackled him. Chen Zhao kicked up, kicking the beast away. Casting needle thread guidance, his magic instantly turned into thousands of threads that entangled around the beast. He pulled back fiercely. Chen Zhao's magic reshaped into a palm blade on his right hand. He cut straight through the guardian beast's head. The beast outside was unharmed, but Chen Zhao had already sliced through the brain. It fell slowly to the ground. Only one guardian beast remained. Tut tut tut. Just then, the reinforcements of the 5 assassin witches had arrived. The last guardian beast immediately ducked into the darkness. Chen Zhao stood in place, panting heavily. Sienna and Rupert hurried over too. Chun, how are you? I'm okay. These beasts aren't much different from wild animals. They only know how to wrestle. Poof! A beam of light flashed in the darkness. Then Chen Zhao saw an assassin witch's body get split open. Leah! Everyone sprawled onto the ground. Chen Zhao slapped himself. He jinxed them. Did these guardian beasts use sword chi too? Oh. Chapter 531 again. Chen Zhao was also troubled. What exactly is blood coexistence? We were happily having a melee. Why can the last one release sword chi? That's cheating. Guess we can't play anymore. Chun, what do we do now? Let me think. Swish. Suddenly, another beam of white light shot out from the darkness. Where everyone was lying, a tree collapsed. Chen Zhao stopped the falling tree with his arm so that the rest would not be hit. There's no other way. If we wait here, we'll eventually be killed. I have to fight it directly. Don't get up. Chen, be careful. With the eye of shadow vision, Chen Zhao could see the magical guardian beast hidden in the darkness. It seemed to be preparing something in its mouth. A few seconds later, it fired a white beam from its mouth. Chen Zhao dodged to the left and the beam barely missed him. A few more seconds later, Chen Zhao moved to the right and avoided the attack again. Wow! How did he dodge such a quick attack? The witch mercenaries had all been through systematic training. They were quite strong, as though they were from the army. However, similar to goods in the same production line, they had the exact same skills. They were adept at guns and similar magic items. But this also resulted in their weakness. Their magic knowledge was very poor, unlike Rupert and Sienna, who had been learning magic themselves. Of course, only Sienna and Rupert were true witches. The witch mercenaries were more like soldiers. Alone, Chen Zhao walked deeper and deeper into the forest, until he disappeared into the darkness. He had already managed to analyze the guardian beast's attacks and weaknesses. Realizing Chen Zhao's approach, the magical guardian beast immediately moved back. It was quite intelligent. It knew that Chen Zhao was extremely powerful at close range. While it had become significantly stronger than before, it was not confident in taking Chen Zhao in close combat. Chen Zhao was actually somewhat glad that it was moving. After all, it could only release white beams while stationary. If it moved, its attacks would stop. Chen Zhao suddenly accelerated and chased after the guardian beast. He was no slower than the beast, at least when they were both charging. Suddenly, the magical guardian beast stopped without warning and turned to face Chen Zhao. Chen Zhao could feel his hair stand. Danger! A beam of white light shot toward him. Chen Zhao cursed as he threw himself to the side. It had been acting. The guardian beast could release white beams even when running. The white beam flashed across Chen Zhao's shoulder and left a wound. Just then the magical guardian beast leaped at Chen Zhao. Chen Zhao raised his arm and hit it with his fist. This time the guardian beast only took a few steps back, unlike the last few ones which had been smashed directly. The guardian beast's body was clearly much tougher than before. Chen Zhao began to muster his magical power. Strength alone was insufficient to kill the beast. Sigh, why am I in this kind of adventure? Why can't I just live in peace? The magical guardian beast pounced at Chen Zhao again, who also jumped at it. The two rolled into a scuffle as they punched and scratched each other frantically. Chen Zhao was also in a ruthless fury. He opened the mouth of Glutton and bit the guardian beast's neck tightly. The beast struggled wildly, attempting to break free. However, Chen Zhao was determined not to let go. Die! Chen Zhao put more force into the mouth. Crack! Finally, he heard a clear crack as the mouth of Glutton sank into the guardian beast's neck. The magical guardian beast struggled on the ground, but it did not manage to stand up again. By then, Chen Zhao was also too exhausted to move. Originally, Chen Zhao thought that he was powerful enough already. As long as he did not provoke everyone he saw, nothing would be able to threaten him. However, a random magical guardian beast was enough to force him into a predicament. It turned out that he was not as strong as he had imagined. The mouth of Glutton started to devour the beast's body again. It was a complete instinct. Chen Zhao did not want it to. Achoo! It was happening again. Indeed, it seemed like Chen Zhao should not eat random magic creatures again. Sienna, Rupert and the rest finally reached. Chun, are you alright? At the moment, Chen Zhao looked really scary, with his entire body covered in blood. On the ground, there were the remains of the magical guardian beast. Chen Zhao's nose felt itchy again. Everyone escaped at once. His sneeze was too alarming. I'm fine now. Go and get the blue heart blossom. Chen Zhao shook his head. I'm fine. Achoo! A huge tree collapsed. Everyone stared at Chen Zhao speechless. You're fine. I'm really fine now. You sure? Chen Zhao immediately turned around and sneezed again. Nobody spoke a word. Chen Zhao was also helpless. It was not something he could control. Rupert and Sienna finally got the blue heart blossom. The four witch mercenaries did not stop them. With Chen Zhao around, they really did not have the courage to snatch it. Instead, they left. I'm going home now. Let me send you back, Sienna said. Can you drive? Also, can your car take my sneeze? Thinking about the repair costs, Sienna eventually withdrew the offer. Actually, if Chen Zhao were to sneeze on her car, she could forget about the repair costs and send the car to the junkyard instead. When Chen Zhao returned home, he did not dare to enter the bedroom. He could not imagine what would happen if he sneezed at Fei Lai. Even if he sneezed in the room, he would be heartbroken. After Chen Zhao cleaned himself, he slept on the lounger in the forecourt. The next day, Fei Lai awakened Chen Zhao by tapping his cheeks. Chun, when did you come back last night? Why didn't you sleep in the room? I have a severe cold. I'm worried that I'll pass it to you. Fei Lai bent down and kissed Chen Zhao. I'm not scared. But I am. Chen Zhao rubbed his nose. I won't go to work today. I'll stay with you. Fei Lai was concerned about Chen Zhao's condition. He was ill, but he slept in the forecourt for an entire night because of her. She was very touched. Do you want to eat something? No, I don't really have an appetite. Chen Zhao shook his head. Do you want to go to the hospital? Please, I'm a doctor. Just then, Chen Zhao's handphone rang in the living room. Too lazy to get up, he asked the home AI to pick the call up. Hey Chen, there's a client. Are you up for it? I'm ill. I'm not going out, Chen Zhao said. What? You're ill? Big news. Are you in an ICU? Chapter 532. Kyla Nelifa. Fuck, don't force me to beat you into the ICU. Fine, I won't tease you anymore. If you're not able to go out, should I have the client go to you instead? Yes. Chen Zhao nodded. Fei Lai made a bowl of porridge for Chen Zhao and spoon-fed him. Chen Zhao didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Dear, I only have a cold. I'm not disabled. I shouldn't wait until you're disabled before I feed you. Fei Lai looked at him with dissatisfaction. You don't like me feeding you? I like it. Let's continue. You really had to humor women. It felt warm and soothing to bask in the morning sun. Chen Zhao found a surgical mask to wear and sunbathed in the front yard. Sounds of Yura and Cheryl playing traveled to his ear. Fei Lai was busy working in and outside the house, but Chen Zhao didn't understand. There didn't seem to have so many things to do usually. How come Fei Lai became so busy when Chen Zhao got sick? He had no clue. Recently, Fei Lai read an article somewhere called Standards of the Chinese Wife. She decided to change her image. For example, Fei Lai realized that she wasn't hardworking enough. Especially after getting the inferior demons, she realized that she'd become even lazier. In the old house, she and Chen Zhao would take turns cooking. Now they rarely ever cooked. Fei Lai felt a sense of crisis. She was afraid that Chen Zhao would be unhappy or even annoyed at her laziness. So she was quite happy that Chen Zhao was sick. Alright, she was really happy. Because she finally had a chance to show that she could be a good housewife. If Chen Zhao knew about Fei Lai's thoughts, he would probably die laughing. What era was this? Who still cared about being a good housewife? In Chen Zhao's opinion, a couple only had to maintain their sweetness. Anyway, Chen Zhao was very satisfied with Fei Lai's personality. As for whether she was hardworking or not, Chen Zhao was used to having people serve him now too. He didn't have the right to ask someone else to be hardworking. It was just like how a wealthy person wouldn't be hardworking if they had a bunch of servants. Would they fight their servants for work in order to show that they were hardworking? A car parked before the house. Fei Lai hurried over to welcome the guest. Earlier, she'd heard Chen Zhao and Ethan's conversation. She knew that there would be a client today. Two women came out of the car. The first woman had blonde hair, red lips and big sunglasses. Her outfit was very fashionable. She wore a black low-cut suit and loose black and white striped pants with heels. This woman was very tall. Fei Lai was already 1.7 meters tall, but she was still shorter than this woman. Fei Lai recognized the woman immediately. She was Kyla Nelifa, an A-list Hollywood star. The slightly older woman with plainer clothes and thick glasses was probably her assistant or manager. Hello, how may I help you? Facing this powerful woman, Fei Lai couldn't keep up her confidence. Kyla studied the house and the surrounding scenery. I made an appointment with the doctor. Can you bring me to him? He's over there, Fei Lai said, pointing at Chen Zhao in the front yard. Kyla walked over to Chen Zhao and loomed over him. Sensing something, Chen Zhao opened his eyes and looked at the woman before him. Did I disturb you? Kyla asked. Sorry. Chen Zhao stood up. You are. Chen Zhao was 1.8 meters tall, but he was also having trouble facing this woman in stilettos. I'm here for the doctor. Chen Zhao had met two women with powerful auras. One was Caprice, the prison warden. She was an aggressive and harsh woman. The first time Chen Zhao met Caprice, he'd gotten scared. The other one was Fei Lai's mother, Winnip. Winnip had gone through the trials of business. These two women had special auras. Today he met another one. Kyla's presence was completely different from Caprice and Winnip. Come inside. Kyla and the assistant behind her followed Chen Zhao into the living room. But Princess was sleeping on the ground before them. Kyla's footsteps paused. This is... The assistant behind her had a bigger reaction. She immediately started screaming. Marian, shut up. That's my pet, Chen Zhao said indifferently while kicking Princess to make her move. The corners of Kyla's lips twitched. Clearly, she wasn't feeling as composed as she looked on the surface. Please sit, Chen Zhao said. What do you need my help with? Do you have security cameras and such? Kyla asked. Yes. I would like for you to turn them off. Chen Zhao glanced around. Manager, temporarily turn off the cameras. Kyla looked around. What manager system do you have? Let's talk about the main topic, Chan Zhao said. You turned off the surveillance already, right? Yes. Just then Yura and Cheryl came in screaming with the Betos behind them. Then they ran out to the backyard. Chan Zhao was speechless, but he still had a smile. Let's continue. Were those two girls getting chased by a huge lizard? Are you sure it's okay? It's okay. They're just playing. Ignore them. All right. Kyla was about to take off her sunglasses when Marion started screaming again. Snake! Snake! Chan Zhao tossed Raymond into the kitchen. Clapping his hands, he said, "Let us continue." Kyla finally took off her glasses. Chan Zhao saw a finger-sized pustule under her left eye. Can you get rid of it? Kyla asked. Chan Zhao frowned. This wasn't a pimple. If it was a normal breakout, it would only be a bit bigger than the typical pustular acne. But with Kyla, it looked like she'd gotten poisoned. Of course, it wasn't the typical kind of poison. Instead, it was when the toxins in her body reached a certain level and gathered in her face. The pustule directly destroyed Kyla's beauty. Especially for a celebrity of her status, this pustule could destroy her career. Chan Zhao's mind whirred to search for a solution. This isn't an incurable disease, Chan Zhao said. Why did you come to me? I asked 4 doctors before you. They all replied, telling me to do plastic surgery, but I don't have that much time. I have an audition in 3 days. I need to do this audition in my best state, so I hope you can give me a different answer. I heard that you're the best in the industry. In that case, you might have to live here for 2 days, Chan Zhao said. If I live here for 2 days, do you promise you can solve my problem? Chapter 533, Cosmetology. It's a serious pustule. Your lifestyle and diet must have been unhealthy, which caused toxins to accumulate in your body, Chan Zhao said. With the current technology, it's not hard to physically remove and restore it. However, detox will be more difficult. Given your oily skin, it may recur. If this continues, your face will become very rough in less than 5 years. Kyla Nelifa was horrified by Chan Zhao's words. No woman would not take care of her appearance, especially someone like Kyla. If she really became what Chan Zhao described, she would rather die. Kyla Nelifa also knew that many women in Hollywood could not go out in their natural looks. Of course, they certainly looked better than most common people. However, because they were stars, their ugliness would be magnified. It was difficult for a normal person to understand how much a female celebrity would do to protect her appearance and skin. Chan Zhao heard that some female stars in China always had face masks on whenever they were off the screen. Then what can you do for me? Detox, pustule removal, oil removal, and a cosmetic session for your skin. $200,000 for 2 days, Chan Zhao said. The price is fine, but I'll only pay after I see the effects. No problem. Marion, go and bring my stuff here, Kyla said. Ah. Just then, Yura and Cheryl ran across the living room again. This time they were being chased by the silly twins. Marion thought that she was about to lose her mind. The animals chasing them just now are wolves, right? Are you sure they'll be all right? Yup. They're all my pets. Just then, Fei Lai walked over with 2 glasses of beverage. Please help yourselves. Papaya juice. It helps in detox, Chan Zhao said. Your girlfriend. Kyla looked at Fei Lai. Although Kyla had a better temperament, she really envied Fei Lai's skin. They were about the same age, but Fei Lai's skin was very healthy and smooth. As a celebrity who was really concerned about her appearance, Kyla had her own way to maintain her looks. Nonetheless, she knew the features of Western women's skin. 30 years old was usually a dividing line. Because of eating habits, many Western women would experience enlarging pores and increased oil secretion after they turned 30. At the same time, the hair on their bodies would grow rapidly, including their faces. At the moment, Kyla was already 26. The oil secretion on her face was alarming. She had to wash her face and change her makeup every 3 hours. Hi, I'm Fei Lai Johnson. Fei Lai, your skin looks really amazing. Chun taught me. Sometimes he'll help me to detox. Kyla could see the sweetness in Fei Lai's eyes when she looked at Chan Zhao. Kyla began to consider if she should also find a boyfriend who knew medicine and cosmetology. Miss Kyla, please wash the foundation off. Let's do detox first. Must I remove it? Kyla looked at Chan Zhao hesitantly. Have you seen a person have a cosmetic session with makeup? All right. Fei Lai brought Kyla into the restroom. When Kyla appeared before Chan Zhao again without her makeup, she had changed completely. While she was still pretty, her aggressive temperament was gone. Indeed, it seemed like most celebrities lived on makeup, regardless of which country they were from. Of course, Kyla Nelifa was not old, so her skin could still be saved. Where do we go? Just lie on the sofa, Chan Zhao said. Then he took out all his needles and performed acupuncture on Kyla's face. Oh, Pierce South was rather upset. He had spent so much to hire a killer, but he had yet to hear anything from them. Although he had only paid the deposit, it was still 500,000. Did the killer fail too? Pierce South felt more and more scared. Was there nobody who could kill that Chinese? Since killers can't kill you, I'll find mercenaries. Pierce South knew an organization that trained witch mercenaries. He found their number and called them at once. Hi, I have a task for you. Tell me the task and bounty. Then we'll evaluate to see if we'll accept it. Pierce heard a woman's voice. It sounded simple and experienced. A Chinese wizard. He's very powerful. Bounty 2 million. Do you have his details? Yes, I'll send it to you. Sent. Fuck. Who the fuck will accept this task? You want to kill us all. Asshole, you can save that 2 million for your own fucking coffin. Clang. The woman had already hung up in anger. Pierce South opened his mouth and could not speak for a while. What did she mean? Was that Chinese really that scary? The witch mercenary organization cursed him once they received the information. How powerful was that Chinese? However, Pierce South did not recall Chan Zhao being very powerful the first time they met. Pierce began to feel very uneasy. He thought about what had happened. First of all, a famous witch in LA gave up the mission. Then it was the sorcerer killer. And then the killer whom Pierce had not heard from. The killer was probably dead by now. Now, the witch mercenary organization saw the information and actually said that Pierce was trying to kill all of them. Was that Chinese strong enough to fight against the entire organization? The more Pierce South thought about it, the more frightened he was. No, I can't stay here anymore. LA is no longer safe. If that Chinese finds me, I'll die a terrible death. I have to escape. At the moment, Pierce South was already starting to have regrets. He had underestimated how dangerous Chan Zhao was. In fact, he had spent most of his money in several futile attempts to kill Chan Zhao. Instead, he offended Chan Zhao totally. Pierce South booked a train ticket online. He had to leave the city first. Meanwhile, Kelly also received a message. Kelly, someone called Pierce South booked a train to San Francisco online. The train number is FA 512, departing on the 28th. Chapter 534. Treatment Effect. Okay, wait until your assistant brings your things over, Chen Zhao said. Then you can wash it off. Can I use the bathroom? Sure. Anyway, you'll be living here for the next 2 days, so there's no need to be polite. Chan Zhao had stimulated Kyla's digestive tract, just then to make her expel what was in her stomach and intestines. How do you extinguish your worship for an idol or celebrity? Have a fan live with their idol for a day. This was why Chan Zhao never worshipped or revered anyone. Even the brightest stars were still human. Kyla was exactly like this. Even though she was an A-list celebrity, it still couldn't change her identity. She sat on the toilet and things came out unobstructed. She felt much more relaxed now. But before she could stand up, she discovered that black filth had started seeping out of her skin. She wiped it and found that it was sticky. It was disgusting. Quickly leaving the bathroom, Kyla hurried to find Chan Zhao. Mr. Chen, why is this black stuff coming out of my skin? It's a normal detoxification process, Chan Zhao said calmly. Don't worry. It's a good sign. If you can expel the toxins in you, it means that your body is still healthy. If you still couldn't do it under my stimulation, you'd probably have to go to the hospital to check your kidneys. Can I borrow Feilai's clothes? Kyla asked. She honestly couldn't stand the dirty feeling all over. Chunzhao shrugged. You can ask her. Kyla quickly got clothes from Feilai and went to take a shower. But Feilai's clothes were a size too small. Chunzhao didn't even dare to look at Kyla anymore. Her figure was too hot. It was to the point that he would spit blood. After showering, Kyla was much more energetic. She could feel clearly that her pores had gotten smaller and her skin was more elastic. We'll detoxify once more in the afternoon, Chunzhao said. In the afternoon, Marian came again. Chunzhao blanched at the giant suitcases. Kyla, are you sure you're not moving somewhere? Kyla looked at Chunzhao helplessly. Can you help? Just leave it. Chunzhao had no choice but to pick up the two heaviest suitcases. Kyla, you look different. Marian gazed at Kyla. As the person closest to her, Marian was very clear about Kyla's condition. But in merely one morning, Kyla seemed to have become a different person. As a woman, even Marian was a bit tempted. But the cost of $200,000 stopped her. This price was too expensive for an assistant. But she had to admit that the effect was definitely worth the price. Marian hesitated. Should she take her savings from these years and borrow some funds from the bank to get herself a treatment too? Kyla looked at her body. Are you serious? Yeah, it's really obvious. Kyla, how do you feel? Not bad. Kyla was overjoyed inside, but she still had a cold expression on the outside. In the afternoon, Chunzhao did acupuncture on Kyla again. The entire time, Marian watched from the side. In the beginning, she wanted to secretly learn. Maybe if she learned it, she wouldn't have to spend the $200,000. But after seeing Chunzhao's almost perverted acupuncture moves, Marian lost all hope. As expected, it wasn't easy to save $200,000. It was impossible to learn this. Kyla, my hand may touch some sensitive parts later. Okay, I understand. Chunzhao's finger started pressing down on Kyla's waist. The numb feelings made Kyla moan involuntarily. It really felt great. Chunzhao rolled her eyes. Kyla, can you keep a clear mind? Feilai was still home. It made him really awkward for Kyla to make those noises. Ari. Kyla realized that she'd lost control. But Chunzhao's massage was honestly very comfortable. She instantly forgot where she was. Okay, you can get up, Chunzhao said. Go wash. Mr. Chun, would you mind if I play in the lake? No problem, Chunzhao said. Marian, you can go with Kyla. There's no need to be so formal in my home. With that, Chunzhao went upstairs. When he was treating Kyla, he'd had to hold so many feelings in. Chunzhao pulled Feilai straight to the bedroom, locked the door and started. Kyla had just finished showering. She felt like the black spots on her body had almost all disappeared, especially on her face. She'd had some colored spots on her face, but they were all gone now. This treatment effect was too good. Even if this was the entire effect, she thought it was worth the $200,000. Kyla went upstairs to find Chunzhao, but she heard some small noises when she reached the bedroom door. Face reddening, Kyla escaped downstairs. No matter how well the soundproof walls were, she could still hear things. After changing, Kyla jumped into the lake. The cold water immersed every inch of her skin, extinguishing the fire within her. Swimming in the sea was very bad for the skin. There was salt in the water. It was very harmful to the skin, especially when under the sun after getting out of the water. That was why one had to use fresh water to wash off the salt after swimming in the sea. But there wasn't this problem when swimming in a freshwater lake. She could stay there for as long as she wanted. It was so comfortable and perfect. Kyla felt like she could stay here forever. Marian also jumped into the lake and swam slowly. Marian, what do you think about this place? It's great, just a bit too many animals. Just then, a scream came from the center of the lake. It was Yura and Cheryl. Kyla had been here for half a day and saw these two girls messing around inside and outside the house. Something tossed them meters into the sky. Then they landed with a splash. What's that? Kyla asked, confused. A whale? Such a big tail. Will they get eaten by the whale? Kyla rolled her eyes. She knew that Marion was scared of any animal. That whale was clearly playing with the girls. But can whales live in a freshwater lake? Chapter 535, Perfect Life. As Kyla Nelifa approached Yura and Cheryl, she finally saw the whale's full body. She almost screamed in shock. Yura and Cheryl were lying on the whale's back, laughing occasionally. Kyla could not help but envy them. She continued to swim toward Amon. However, Amon kept avoiding her, not giving her any chance to near him. After swimming for a while, Kyla realized that she was not getting any close to Amon. She was rather frustrated. Suddenly, she felt her foot cramp. Then she began to sink. Kyla slapped the water fiercely with her hands. Help! Ah, I think that female star is going to drown. Amon, go and lift her up. Amon unwillingly swam below Kyla and then resurfaced, carrying her on his back. Kyla touched Amon in amazement. It was her first time being so close to a whale. Amon was enormous but not scary at all. Instead, Kyla felt very safe. Yura and Cheryl climbed onto Amon's back. When Kyla asked, "What's its name?" "Amon." "Amon, think I've heard this name before." Kyla suddenly seemed to recall something. Wait, is he the whale in Mr. Stevens' new movie? I don't know. Yura, has Amon acted in a movie? Dunno. I'll ask brother later. He's huge. Kyla stood up. Does he not move? Usually not, unless brother instructs him to. Mr. Chun. Kyla thought that the place was too perfect. It was simply heaven. The house was filled with vitality and animals which coexisted in peace with their master. Unfortunately, Yura and Cheryl were much younger than Kyla and it was not fun for her. They would only play between themselves. Kyla could not even find an opportunity to speak. She could only swim back to shore. When she returned, she saw Chun Zhao and Fei Lai walking out, holding each other's hands. It was unfortunate that there was already a madam here. Kyla approached the two. At the moment they were sitting on the ground leaning against Princess. It was a lovely sight that only existed in fairy tales. Hey Miss Kyla, I hope you find my place all right. It's amazing. The environment is more than perfect, and the people too, Kyla said with a smile. Isn't it troublesome to have so many pets? I mean, won't it be dangerous? Ask Chen. He's an animal trainer, Fei Lai said. You're an animal trainer. That's just a hobby. My main occupation is still a doctor. Chun Zhao did not want his professionalism to be questioned because of his hobbies. What's that smell? It's so good. Our dinner, Chun Zhao said. Weren't you? Kyla was confused. Weren't they in the bedroom just now? How did they manage to cook dinner? The two smiled but did not answer her question. Spanish seafood paella, Spanish cold soup, manchego. Kyla realized that all the food was Spanish style. Kyla was Spanish, so she knew the popular dishes in Spain. Moreover, they tasted quite authentic. Of course, they were still slightly different from the original dishes. Nevertheless, Kyla was very satisfied with the dinner. But how did they have time to cook? They probably did not even enter the kitchen. Was there a servant in the mansion that she did not notice? Did they specially prepare these dishes because they knew that she was Spanish? In fact, she was overthinking. It was merely a coincidence that it was the Spanish dishes day. To ensure that they would not be fired or replaced, the underlings had been learning new recipes every day. Can I have more soup, please? Marion asked, somewhat embarrassed. Of course. Feel free to have whatever you want. We have more than enough, Fei Lai said with a smile. I'll help you to get it. I'll do it myself, thank you. Miss Kyla, would you like to have some too? Fei Lai asked. She noticed that Kyla did not eat much. She recalled that Kyla had not eaten much for lunch as well. No thank you. I don't usually eat a lot. Kyla indeed wanted more food. However, the first challenge celebrities had to face was to control their mouths. Don't worry. If you're worried about your shape, you can ask Chen for help. He also offers weight loss programs. In the past, he's helped a girl to lose from 140 kilograms to 60 kilograms in a month. Fei Lai thought that as a good partner, she should also help Chun Zhao in his career. Oh, is it? If you want to lose weight, you actually have to control your diet. Person can't eat and slim at the same time. Chun Zhao shrugged. Of course, miss. Kyla, you've indeed eaten too little. I can create a food list for you. At least you'll be able to eat something. Health is closely related to appearance. If your body is damaged from the inside, it'll first show on your face. Food list? That's great. How much will it cost? Free, Chun Zhao said, smiling. Do you usually exercise? Not really, but before every audition, I would do some specific training. You can spend 30 minutes swimming every day. It can make you healthier. And you also won't have to train before auditions. Of course, unless it's a special role. Mr. Chun, can you make a food list for me too? Marian asked uneasily. She was not rich enough to pay for Chun Zhao's treatment. Nonetheless, concerned with her appearance, she did not want to miss this opportunity. Therefore, she wanted to try her luck. Sure, Chun Zhao agreed readily. Kyla really had to admit that life here was too comfortable. Her house was not bad either, but the environment and atmosphere here were way better. Mr. Chun, do you have any intention to sell your house? Sorry, we've just built it. I don't plan to sell it. Chun Zhao shook his head. Kyla was rather disappointed. With her experience, she could roughly tell that the whole mansion cost at most $2 million to build. But it was much better than her house, which cost $6 million. Chapter 536, Goblin. Kyla was picky about her bed, so she couldn't sleep at night. She lay in bed for 3 hours. Then she got up and stood by the window. She saw stars formed by fireflies in the shadows of the backyard. When a breeze blew by, whooshes sounded in the forest. Millions of fireflies started wrapping around the large tree, spiraling up like a galaxy. Kyla was already stunned by this magical scene. It was an asphyxiating scene. Kyla felt like she was living in a fairy tale castle. Just then, she discovered that some fireflies landed in the forest and a tiny figure darted among the trees. It's so late. How come there are kids? Kyla was doubtful. No, the little figure didn't run like a kid. What is it doing? Confused, Kyla stared at the figure. It seemed to carry a small bucket and was splashing water at the grapevine. Another small figure appeared. They started chattering to each other. Then the other one started loosening the soil. Goblins? Kyla's first thought was the goblins from stories. Kyla opened the window. But the moment she opened it, the little things under the grapevine heard the noise and vanished in the forest. Looking at the disappeared goblins, Kyla was disappointed. She should have been more careful or not even open the window. That night, Kyla kept the windows open and slept well. The night breeze occasionally blew into the window. The cool current actually made Kyla more comfortable in bed. When she opened her eyes again, it was already bright out. Knock knock. Kyla, are you awake? Marian was knocking outside. Come in. Kyla stretched. Before, when she stayed at hotels, she could never sleep. But here, she didn't feel any discomfort. Kyla, Mr. Chun and Feilai have prepared breakfast. They're calling for you. Okay. Kyla, you seem... Marian stared at Kyla. Oh, me? What's wrong? You look refreshed, Marian said. Really? Kyla thought that Marian was just kissing up to her. But when she was washing up and saw herself in the mirror, she was taken aback. She seemed to have gone back to when she was 20. Her tight and fine skin was incredible. Actually, it was mainly because she'd improved her skin. A person's age mostly showed in the skin. So as Kyla's skin kept improving, it would naturally make her look younger. As for the pustule under her eye, it was already gone. Even if she didn't put on makeup now, Kyla was still confident in her looks. When she got to the dining room, Feilai had already finished breakfast. Kyla, are you used to drinking soy milk? Of course. Kyla believed that she didn't have to worry about eating something wrong in Chun Zhao's house. Chun Zhao's skills were undeniable. His stuff must be the best. Delicious. Kyla really liked the soy milk. It was her first time drinking it. Where did you buy it? We made it ourselves, Feilai said, smiling. Actually, they just bought the soybeans and had the inferior demons grind them. Oh, is it complicated? It's not complicated, but the process is a bit annoying. You can buy it in the supermarket too, but the machine-made soy milk won't taste as good as ours. Feilai was very proud. After all, only her house had this kind of soy milk. You couldn't get it anywhere outside. After breakfast, Feilai went to work. Kyla, let us continue the treatment. Do I still need to continue? Since I accepted your money, I'll work to the best level. Of course, if you think this is enough, then I don't mind either. What a joke. The first day was already so effective. How could Kyla refuse him now? She also wanted to know just how great Chun Zhao could make her skin. After the treatment, Kyla discovered that her skin released less oil and toxins. This wasn't hard to understand. After showering, Kyla felt that her skin had gotten even better. Chun Zhao's treatment was visible. The effects were obvious too. In the afternoon, Chun Zhao gave Kyla the last detoxification treatment. This time, very little toxins were released. Kyla, this ointment is for you. I made it myself. It can effectively fade scars. Chun Zhao looked at Marian beside them. Marian, here's one for you too. Huh, I have one too. Marian was surprised. Take it. Marian had average skin and some scars on her face. Chun Zhao was just doing offhanded charity. He did hope that this was an emotional investment and Marian would come to him for treatment in the future. He didn't know that Marian did have this thought. He underestimated a woman's desire for beauty. Usually, he never heard Feilai talk about where she was dissatisfied with herself because Chun Zhao always treated her proactively. When Feilai got hurt or scratched at work, Chun Zhao would give her treatment immediately. Others didn't get this kind of treatment. Marian saw that Kyla's treatment was so effective and made her want it too. Of course, her bank card suppressed her urge. This is the meal plan I created for you. Kyla, this is yours. And this is yours, Marian. Thank you. Marian was quite happy. After all, this was free. And it was an expert beautician who made the meal plan. If you have any other health problems, you can come and find me. I welcome you at any time. You're so expensive, Kyla said, chuckling. I don't dare to come more times. She was just joking. With her price for a movie, she didn't lack $200,000. She already spent more than $1 million on her beauty. For example, the monthly laser treatment was $20,000 each time. The laser also had certain risks, but for a girl who loved looking pretty, any risk was worth it before something actually happened. But now, Kyla wasn't willing to take those risks anymore. After all, she had a better option now. Chapter 537. Accident in the Studio. Although Kyla Nelifa would like to continue staying at Chun Zhao's place, it was clearly impossible. They were only acquaintances or more like a doctor and his patient. Moreover, Chun Zhao and Feilai had their own life. Lastly, as a celebrity, her schedule was completely filled. Kyla only stayed for 2 days. It was really a memorable experience. Kyla stared at the shrinking mansion in the rear mirror in silence. It was as if she was bidding farewell to a fairy tale. After all, she still had to return to reality. Miss Kyla, actually you could have stayed for another day. Have you forgotten about the audition this afternoon? Kyla had to adjust her emotions and get ready for the audition later. Of course, Kyla had been to hundreds of auditions, from being unknown to very popular. But even now, she still had to give it her best. No big production would choose their female lead carelessly. Even a top celebrity could not guarantee that she would receive the role. Firstly, there would be competition between various agencies and investors. And then the actor's appearance, popularity, pay, and acting skills. A top-tier actress might not be an Oscar Award winner, but at least she needed to have some acting skills. If Kyla only had appearance like her plan a few years ago, she would never become a top-tier actress. Acting skills sound mysterious, but they are actually real. When you act with a supporting actor, you would always be the center of attention. When you act with the male lead, you would not be ignored. Even in an ensemble cast, the audience would also notice you. Of course, not every movie gives its actors an opportunity to perform. In movies like Transformers, the leads are really more like supporting roles. The real leads are the robots created by CGI. Normally, top-tier actors would not take those roles unless the pay was really high. The audition this time was in the Hollywood studios, where many movie companies had gathered. People looking for opportunities roamed here every day. They would even stop passing cars and attempt to sell their scripts. However, the success rate was clearly almost zero. When Kyla reached the studio, there was already a long queue of young actresses. Most of them had agencies, while the rest were here to try their luck. Of course, Kyla did not have to queue like these girls. Moreover, they were auditioning for different roles. These girls were probably only aiming for a role with a minute of screen time, like a receptionist or a waitress in a restaurant. Kyla was very lucky, or rather she had a powerful background. She did not have to work from the bottom. Her very first role was a secondary female lead. Kyla entered another audition area directly. There were significantly fewer people here. The actresses waiting at the entrance were all somewhat popular. Kyla here. A lady who was about the same age as Kyla waved at her. It was Kyla's cousin, and she was similarly from a rich family. In Hollywood, only women like them, who were relatives and not direct competitors, could become real friends. If they were like the backgroundless girls outside competing for the same role, they would become enemies at once even if they had been best friends. "Hey Fanny." The two gave each other a warm hug. Kyla asked, "Are you here for the female lead too?" "No please, I'm not even on the C-list. My agency has arranged a role for me." "It's only a brief shot," Fanny Lee said, looking at Kyla in envy. "When will I become as popular as you?" "Soon. You'll soon be like me." "Kyla, what lotion have you been using? Your skin looks amazing." Fanny felt Kyla's arm. It felt more like a teenage girl's. Kyla's skin was so smooth that the pores could not even be seen. Fanny almost thought she was touching a piece of silk. She could not feel any roughness. In fact, it was not just Kyla's arm but also her face. With her light makeup, she was filled with youth. Fanny was really jealous of Kyla's skin as she kept touching her hand. Eventually, Fanny could not help but feel Kyla's face. "God, did you go for a facelift?" "No, even a facelift can't be this good." "I know." Suddenly, a woman walked in from outside. She looked over 30. After she entered, she scanned the crowd, searching for someone. Chapter 538. The Pursuit is Here. Kyla and Marion were about to go to the hospital when the phone rang. "Kyla, your phone." She took the phone. "Hello." A moment later, her expression changed. "Go back." "Kyla, we're almost at the hospital. There's a new role." "But your arm is burned." "It's okay," Kyla said. "I'm already hurt anyway." She touched the wound. The pain had subsided a lot. It seemed that the ointment was quite effective. "Kyla, how about we ask Mr. Chun? Maybe he has a solution." "It's useless. This is a serious burn. I'll need a skin graft at the very least." The arm injury wasn't large, but it had been high-concentration sulfuric acid. The surface skin was already damaged and even wrinkled. She would probably need to rely on skin grafts to heal it. Later, Kyla went to audition at the site. She didn't get a result yet. After the busy day, Kyla was exhausted. "Kyla, should we go to the hospital now?" "Whatever, I'm tired," she replied, fatigued. "Let's not go now." She pulled up her sleeve but discovered that there was a layer of dead skin where her injury was. "Huh." She let out a surprised sound. Marion looked at Kyla's arm. "That's strange. Is that what a burn looks like?" Kyla pulled off the dead skin. The injured skin was red and clearly different from the nearby skin. It hurt a bit, but it wasn't as intense as in the afternoon. "No, it looks like it's healing." Kyla's face was filled with confusion. She remembered that her mother had had similar experiences. Once, cooking oil had splashed onto her arm. It left behind a permanent scar. Kyla's injury should be even worse than her mother's, but it seemed to be lighter than she'd imagined. "Kyla, could it be that ointment?" "Is it that ointment?" Kyla pulled it out again and applied it to her injury. "Oh!" The cool feeling came again. "So nice." "Oh, hello, Mr. Chun." "Kelly?" Chan Zhao asked tentatively, looking at the unfamiliar number. It's me. What's wrong? I discovered Pierce South. He's going to San Francisco tomorrow afternoon on train FA 512. Okay, Chun Zhao said. If I capture him, our previous conflicts will be nullified. I'll call you tomorrow. After ending the call with Kelly, Chun Zhao fell into deep thought again. How would he capture him? Could he just take the man away under broad daylight? This wasn't a movie and he didn't have a big background. If Pierce yelled, he could send Chun Zhao into the police station. Got it. Chun Zhao called Sienna. Sienna, help me do something. Okay. Sienna answered without any hesitation. Chun Zhao told her everything. Then he called Gaia. She was the best at torturing people. After all, she was a professional. Next day, Chun Zhao arrived at the L train station in high spirits. Sienna and Rupert came too. Rupert, why are you here? Chun Zhao was a bit surprised that she would come. To return favors, Rupert said with a proud expression. Chun, where is he? Sienna asked. I don't know. We have to wait for news. There were quite a lot of people at the train station. It wasn't a sea of people like in China, but there were a few hundred people. It wasn't easy to find Pierce in so many people. After waiting in the station for half an hour, Kelly's call came. Are you at the train station? Yes, Chun Zhao answered. Platform 6. He has 2 guards before and behind him. Okay. Chun Zhao nodded. After ending the call again, he said to Sienna and Rupert, the location's confirmed. Let's go. Oh. At the same time, Pierce was looking around nervously. He hadn't been able to sleep easily ever since he destroyed the relationship with Chun Zhao. The man gave him too much stress. So many continuous clashes had all ended in failure. He didn't have any more money to hire people and kill Chun Zhao. He could only leave the city now. When he had a chance in the future, he would return again. Suddenly, Pierce saw a figure. The figure was like a nightmare. A true nightmare had befallen. Chun Zhao saw him at the same time that he noticed Chun Zhao. Chun Zhao waved at him from the distance. His smile was friendly and sincere. Pierce wanted to lower his head, but it was too late. See that Asian in a white shirt? Pierce said to his bodyguards. Go stop him. I don't care what you do. The 2 guards looked at Chun Zhao. That little guy was nothing difficult. With that, Pierce went in the other direction. Hey dude, you can't go through here. The 2 guards blocked Chun Zhao. Whoosh! Suddenly, the water bottle in one guard's hand exploded. The 2 guards blanched. They were only regular guards with a $3,000 monthly salary. Basically, they were advanced thugs. Next time it'll be your head exploding. Are you sure you want to stop me? Sir, Chun Zhao nodded in the direction where Kelly was hiding. Kelly raised her sniper emotionlessly. She really wanted to blast the man's head apart. Can you move now? Thank you. Chun Zhao moved past the 2 guards. Pierce had already gone far away. He gave up on boarding the train. He was afraid that if he did and Chun Zhao followed him, he really would have nowhere to hide. While running, he called the police. I need protection. I'm getting chased. Right now. Silence. A voice sounded behind him. Pierce's expression froze. He found that he couldn't produce any sound. There was an unfamiliar woman behind him. Pierce immediately started running. He wanted to scream for help, but he couldn't make any sound. He charged out of the train station and into a taxi that happened to stop beside him. Sir, where are you going? Pierce still couldn't make any sound. The driver turned around. Pierce discovered that it was a muscular woman. You can't talk? Going to a motel? Pierce nodded furiously. Then I'll take you to a motel I know, the driver said. Chapter 539. Claustrophobic Survival Challenge. The effect of silence gradually faded. Pierce South said, I want a place with a good environment, clean and tidy, nice food, cheap prices, preferably with a lot of sexy ladies. Only $10 per night. Tell the owner that I've recommended the place. Have you just ignored my other requirements? You look like you're running away from trouble. Stop asking for more. Pierce South was speechless. The taxi stopped in front of a motel. Pierce South entered the motel. I need a room. $12. Thanks. Gaia recommended the place. She told me that it only costs 10. Fine. 10 in cash, no food. Move your legs away. Pierce South saw an Asian woman mopping the floor beside him. He gave a humph and pointed at the freshly made burgers beside the counter. Give me 2 burgers. Sorry, they're not for sale, the owner replied. What? Can you even finish all of them? It's none of your business, the owner said. Pierce South turned to leave in frustration. He was running for his life now and had to keep a low profile, or else he would really have killed the owner. Fuck. What a shithole. Pierce South waved his hand. The room was filled with a moldy odor. Is this place even for people to live? Damn, it's all because of that Chinese. Otherwise, Pierce South would not have ended in such a state. If he wanted to stay in a proper hotel, he would need to show his ID. Since that Chinese could find out about his train number, he would surely be able to do the same for hotels. Staying in an improper motel like this was clearly a better choice. Although it was unsatisfactory, he would at least be safe. Pierce decided to get some food. He recalled seeing a restaurant nearby when he was in the car just now. Pierce South went downstairs when he saw Chen Zhao sitting before the counter. Hey, Mr. Pierce, long time no see. Pierce turned and ran back upstairs. Chen Zhao pursed his lips. How rude. Why are you all so rude? Fuck off. Is that a stereotype? Auntie Li, did you tell him that? Ignoring their bickering, Li Qing continued to mop the floor in silence. You better go before he escapes. My burgers aren't for you because you never pay. Fine. Chen Zhao stole another burger before leaving. Your burgers are so delicious. Because they're free? Ethan said, displeased. Chen Zhao went upstairs and saw Pierce South with his luggage at the end of the aisle. Panicked, he was about to climb out of the window. Chen Zhao greeted Pierce South with a bright smile, but then raging flames erupted from the room before him and blocked his path. Fuck. This asshole set the place on fire. Enraged, Chen Zhao charged through the fire and kicked Pierce South at once. Pierce South fell from the second floor with his luggage. His suitcase popped open and it was filled with cash. 500,000. It was all the money he had. Chen Zhao jumped down from the second floor. Then, he turned and glanced at the motel. It all happened because he wanted to act cool. Ethan and Li Qing had already run out from inside, and Ethan was obviously cursing loudly. Chen Zhao walked up and stamped Pierce's legs, fracturing them. Ethan, stop cussing. Take this as your compensation. Fuck. Do you know that my father gave this motel to me? Do you know how important it is? I think there's about 500,000 in here. 500,000? Ethan's eyes widened. Haha. Nice fire. Out with the old, in with the new. Chen Zhao did not stay any longer. He had to bring Pierce South away before the fire truck arrived. Thus he bid goodbye to Ethan and Li Qing. At the moment, Pierce South had yet to recover from his fall. He was in the trunk of the car. All he could do was to keep struggling, hoping that someone would hear him. Unfortunately, they were in the suburbs. After some time, Chen Zhao finally dragged Pierce South down the car. Pierce scanned his surroundings in fear. He had no idea where they were. It was all trees. What do you want? Mr. Chen. I was wrong. I apologize. Please let me off. Nah. I've already forgotten about that. Then where are you bringing me to? Chen Zhao had been grabbing one of his legs and dragging him on the ground. As long as you can complete something, I promise I will never find you again. Alright, what is it? I promise you that I'll do it. Pierce cried and shouted. Please let me go. I've been doing an experiment called the Claustrophobic Survival Challenge. I've done it a few times already, but nobody can complete it. I need you to participate in and complete the experiment for me. What's the Claustrophobic Survival Challenge? You'll find out very soon, Chen Zhao said with a smile. Soon Pierce South heard some voice in front. He saw that heavily built female driver. Damn, I should have known that they know each other. Chen, is this deep enough? Gaia asked with a shovel. Chun Zhao turned around and glanced at Pierce South. More or less. Mr. Pierce, get into that box. What? What do you want? Get inside. Didn't you want me to help you in the claustrophobic survival challenge? I'll help you. This is the one, Chun Zhao said calmly. Wait. You want to bury me alive? No. It's called the claustrophobic survival challenge. I'll give you anything you want. What can you offer me? Chun Zhao asked, squatting in front of Pierce South. I. You should be out of money, right? Chun Zhao asked. Pierce South could feel horror growing inside him. Suddenly he had an idea. I can translate that nautical dairy for you. I can help you find the treasures. Gaia looked at Chun Zhao. Before this, she did not know about the treasures. But now that she did, she had to convince Chun Zhao to let her join. No need. I've already found someone to translate it for me. Even if they can translate it, they might not find the treasures. There are many hidden meanings that only I know. If you can do it, so can others. I know a professional exploration team. They have an actual professor. He's definitely more professional than you. Chun Zhao grinned. Looks like you have nothing else to add. Time to start the claustrophobic survival challenge. Chapter 540. Destroy the evidence. Chun Zhao didn't care about all that. He stuffed Pierce South into the case and kicked it into the ditch. Add the dirt. They kept going until all the dirt was added and the ground was flat. How long are you going to bury him for? Let's just wait, Chun Zhao said. We need to open his mouth. He has the information I need. You mean the treasure he mentioned? Are you interested? Chun Zhao looked at Gaia. Of course. If I really go find that treasure, you'll get a portion. And then? What are you going to do with him? Well, I don't plan on forgiving him, Chun Zhao said matter-of-factly. This bastard keeps hiring people to kill me. Chun Zhao and Gaia weren't rookies anymore, so they didn't feel many emotions from this. If it was when Chun Zhao had first arrived in America, he might be a bit timid. Now he had countless deaths in his hands. The two brought the grill from the car and started a barbecue. They also got a few bottles of beer and chatted. Oh, how's that kid you adopted last time? Not bad. At first, I wasn't used to having him call me Mom. Mom? I thought you'd treat him like a little brother. I want to experience what being a mom feels like. Is the kid healthy? Do you need me to give him a checkup? I'll bring him over when I'm free. Chun Zhao and Gaia drank quite a lot, but they were both good drinkers. How long has it been? Should be enough time now, Gaia said. We should dig him out. If we keep going, there won't be enough oxygen in the box. The two worked together to dig the box out. But when they opened it, he's dead. Dead. Chun Zhao checked and was quite annoyed. What the fuck? He didn't get the exhilaration from revenge at all. He didn't even achieve his goal. Didn't you say there's enough oxygen? Chun Zhao complained. He died from fright, Gaia said. Look, there aren't any scratches on the walls. If he died from suffocation, he would have scratched at the box before dying. Dying from fright under that extremely hopeless state is pretty reasonable too. Okay. Chun Zhao was disappointed. About that treasure. I have another plan. The diary's in my hands anyway, Chun Zhao said. What do we do with this body? Burn it and then bury it. The two used half an hour to destroy all evidence. They didn't leave until they were sure no traces were left. Oh, Marian answered Kyla's call sleepily. Marian, are you sleeping? Kyla, what's wrong? Come over now. Oh, bring Mr. Chin's ointment too. Huh. Marian was awake now. Just treat it as me buying it from you. Kyla's tone was undeniable. Don't you want to do surgery at Mr. Chin's? I'll give you $100,000. Huh. Kyla, are you sure? Yes, but if you want to get ointment from Mr. Chin again, you have to give it to me. Kyla, don't you have a bottle too? I discovered another use for it, Kyla said. What use? Don't you just rub it onto your injury? It's not like you can eat it. Just bring it over first. Marian wasn't willing to part with the ointment, but if she could sell it for $100,000, then she was very willing. After all, she only had $100,000 in savings. If she received another $100,000, then she would have enough to get beauty treatment from Chan Zhao. She hurried over to Kyla's house. Kyla impatiently welcomed Marian in. "Did you bring the ointment?" "Yes." Marian handed it to Kyla. "Where's yours?" "I finished it," Kyla said. "Finished?" Kyla pulled her sleeve up. There was still a faint scar. "That fast?" Marian looked at it with shock. "It's because of the ointment." "That's right. The actual way to use it is to apply it every hour. If you go past an hour, the effect will disappear. If you keep applying it, the wound will recover really quickly. I discovered it yesterday and have been applying it constantly." Oh. As if discovering a new world, Kyla continued excitedly, "This is practically the most perfect ointment I've ever seen. It's just that there's too little. It's not enough at all." "Kyla, you shouldn't need an entire bottle anymore, right?" "It's not me. It's Fanny." "Are her injuries really bad?" "Very bad. It'll be complicated if she gets a skin graft too because practically her entire palm is damaged. The surgery would be very difficult." "Then this bottle won't be enough, right?" After all, a small burn used up an entire bottle. Fanny's injury was probably more than 10 times worse than Kyla. Kyla nodded. "I'll just see if it's effective first." "Oh, Fanny, come over." "Kyla, I don't want to." Fanny's tone was very depressed. When she'd received the report from the hospital, she'd felt hopeless. Her hand was practically destroyed, just like her acting career. With her burn degree, she could still use her hand, but she couldn't show it to anyone. It was possible to do a skin graft, but it wouldn't fix her completely. Her palm would be like a puzzle, one piece here, one piece there. As for the burns on her fingers, they were even worse. After the painkillers wore off, the pain kept attacking her as well. She hadn't been able to sleep since the day she was injured. "Hurry over. I can help you. If you want to recommend some doctor, you can stop. I've already asked the best plastic surgeons. It's impossible to recover. Just trust me this once. I'm not recommending any doctors either. I have medicine." "I'm not going." "If you're not coming, then I'll go over to you." With that, Kyla hung up. Fanny knew that Kyla meant well, but she was drowning in pain and sadness. A while later, Kyla had arrived. She kept ringing on the bell. Fanny didn't want to open the door, but Kyla was just too annoying. Finally, Fanny opened her door. "Kyla, can't you let me be in peace? Trust me, I have a great ointment. You sure you weren't scammed?" "Don't worry about that. I'll help you apply it." Oh. Chapter 541 Ointment. What ointment is this? It doesn't even have a label or anything. Fanny clearly did not trust the ointment that Kyla had brought. She was not really suspicious of Kyla, but rather worried that Kyla had been deceived. Fanny was Kyla's cousin, and her family and childhood environment were extremely good. Naturally, she had high requirements for things. For example, she would never use medication with an unknown origin. "Trust me for once, all right? Just put it here. I'll use it later." "No, you definitely won't." Unable to dissuade Kyla, Fanny eventually allowed Kyla to apply the ointment for her. As Kyla applied the ointment, Fanny felt a wave of coolness on her wounds. Sigh, Fanny felt much better. Kyla very carefully applied the ointment on every corner of Fanny's hand. "Done. Remember to apply it once every hour." "Yeah. I need to rest," Fanny said perfunctorily. "Call me if you need anything." I know. Just after Kyla left, Fanny heard someone knock on the door again. Fanny rubbed her forehead. Had Kyla forgotten something? However, when she opened the door, she realized that it was not Kyla. "Mom, why are you here?" It was Fanny's mother instead. She even had 4 bodyguards behind her. "Why am I here? Why can't I be here?" Fanny's mother was clearly displeased. "If I came any later, you would have died outside." "Mom, I'm fine." "Look at your hand. Is this called fine?" Come home with me, all right?" Fanny's mother still had a long face, but her tone had softened. After all, it was her daughter and only child. No, I'm not going back, Fanny said stubbornly. What's the point of staying in Ella now? Fanny's mother urged. After you recover, you can continue being an artist, but now you have to come with me. But I'm still on a contract. Don't worry about that. I'll help you settle it, Fanny's mother said. Must I leave? Yes. Fanny's mother waved her hand. Help Fanny to pack her stuff. Miss Fanny, do you want this? Yes. How about this? Yes. This. A bodyguard picked up the ointment that Kyla had brought. After some hesitation, Fanny shook her head. Nope. The bodyguard threw the ointment into the bin. Oh. On the private plane, Fanny's hand began to hurt again. Fanny, what's wrong? Fanny's mother looked at her daughter with concern. She noticed Fanny's unnatural expression. The pain which had disappeared for over an hour had returned. Fanny realized that her hand seemed to be scabbing. I need to go to the restroom. Fanny went to the restroom and washed off the scab on her hand. However, after touching the water, the pain intensified. Actually, when she was discharged, the doctor had warned her against touching water, lest her wound become infected. Fanny left the restroom, covering the hand which had been burned by acid. Fanny, is it starting to hurt again? Fanny looked like she was in extreme pain as she nodded. Get me the painkiller. Fanny's mother hurriedly opened her suitcase and found the painkiller. After Fanny took a few pills, her mother asked, How is it? Fanny originally thought that the painkiller would take a while to come into effect. However, after a while, the pain still did not subside and continued to trigger her nerves. Cold sweat was seeping out from Fanny's forehead. Suddenly, Fanny thought of the ointment that Kyla had given her. Where's the ointment? What ointment? Fanny remembered that one of the bodyguards had thrown the ointment in the bin. Mom, I need to go back. What? The plane is about to take off. I left the ointment in my apartment. What ointment? I'll buy you another one when we get home. No, I need that one. The one I had earlier. The pain had almost driven her insane. She regretted being so rash. I'll call her and ask her about it. No, Fanny looked really troubled. If Kyla found out that Fanny had thrown away the ointment that she had specially delivered, she would certainly be mad. I'll search in the bin downstairs. Miss Fanny, I think a garbage truck came right after we left, the bodyguard said. Fanny was stunned. When Fanny's mother saw her expression, she took her phone. Hey Kyla, it's Dolan. Hi, Aunt Dolan. Did you give Fanny some kind of ointment? I accidentally broke it just now. Do you still have more? Fanny really needs it now. Huh. I don't have any left. Can you tell me what brand it is? I'll go and get one myself. It's not a standard ointment. One of my doctor friends made it himself. Can you please give me his contact? I'll call him. Here. Aunt Dolan, are you in LA now? Yes. I'm at Fanny's apartment. My friend is rather special, so I can't give you his number directly. How about I ask him for you? Sure. Dolan was not unreasonable. She knew that some people had special circumstances. Oh, hello, Mr. Chun. Yes, Miss Kyla. How can I help you? I would like to ask if you're selling that ointment. Have you used all of it? Yes. I would like to buy one more. 200,000 for a jar. Do you want it? Gaia almost drove the car into a tree. Chan Zhao glanced at Gaia and moved his lips silently. Drive properly. Kyla gasped. 200,000. It seemed like buying Marion's one with $100,000 was really worth it. That's expensive. Given that you've used it, I think you know how good the ointment is. Indeed, it was the best ointment she had ever seen. Chapter 542. The Effect of $200,000. I want 2 bottles. Sorry, Chun Zhao said. I gave you and Marion each 1 bottle. Now I only have 1. It was practically impossible to produce the ointment in the human world. He could only get some ingredients when he went to hell. This was why Chun Zhao didn't produce that many. After all, there were other ointments. He couldn't use it all to produce one type. How long will it take to produce one bottle? At most 2 or 3 per month, Chen Zhao replied after calculating. Unless he went to hell, he would have no way to get the ingredients. That little. But Kyla didn't doubt this. If he could mass-produce this kind of ointment, Chen Zhao would probably be the world's richest man. Are you at home now? I'm in a hurry. I'll go over to get it. I'm not home, Chen Zhao said. Here, tell me where you are. I'll bring it over. Okay. Kyla recited her address. Gaia, turn around. Go to Beverly Hills. Chen Zhao hurriedly sent the ointment to Kyla's hands and received a check in return. Looking at the check in Chen Zhao's hands, Gaia said meaningfully, I'm starting to regret not choosing medical school. Oh, Professor Carlo, we've pretty much gathered everyone. We should be able to enter again, right? Carlo nodded. Ever since that last mountain expedition, he'd gathered a new group, but he still wanted Chen Zhao. He knew that there was no way though. What could he do if Chen Zhao was unwilling? He couldn't even force the man. Last time he tried a trick, he even lost a man. Carlo had placed great value on Murphy. After all, that special bloodline was very important to his team. What about our equipment? Carlo asked. We had a weapons expert from LA. Help us modify them, Tyler said. Did you try it? Yes. It's much stronger, but can it kill the male crypt demons? Carlo asked. I tested the new weapon on that male crypt demon body. It's unable to damage the outer bone, but it can still cause damages if it hits muscle. Carlo thought for a moment. The male crypt demons didn't actually have that much outer bone matter. They were quite scattered too. As long as they had the modified weapons, they could be fatal for the male crypt demons. Plus, they had a lot of people. He believed that they wouldn't escape pathetically like last time. Then let's get ready today and leave tomorrow, Carlo said. Okay. I'll bring the newbies to relax today. Don't go crazy. We're leaving tomorrow. Okay. Oh, Fanny, this is the ointment. Kyla brought the ointment to Fanny again. Don't lose it again. I know. Fanny was quite embarrassed. Kyla had gone through the trouble to bring her medicine, but she hadn't treasured it. Where's Aunt Dolan? She went to the hotel, Fanny answered. Oh, apply the ointment once every hour. I know. After sending Kyla off, Fanny impatiently applied the ointment on her palm. The familiar cool sensation traveled from her palm again. Oh, so nice. Without realizing, Fanny fell asleep. After a long while, she felt an itch on her palm. When she opened her eyes, her palm was stinging. The bed was also covered with dark red dead skin. She discovered that some of the burned parts on her palm actually had the color of normal skin. Huh. Fanny looked back and forth. She pulled off some of the scabs and saw that new skin had grown over many of the burned parts. Is it the ointment? Is it really that effective? Fanny was still a bit hesitant, but she wouldn't throw the ointment away anymore. She picked it up and applied more after an hour. When she felt the pain come back, she applied it again. After repeating this 3 times, she discovered that a large patch of new skin had grown over the injured area. However, the new skin was still red. It had an obvious difference from normal skin. Her entire left hand didn't hurt as intensely as before either. It still stung, but it was bearable now. Fanny applied ointment again, but halfway through, she discovered that it was empty. There was no ointment left. None left. This quickly. Kyla, I need more ointment. I need more. Give me another bottle. No, 2 bottles. Sorry, Fanny. I don't have any. You don't have any? Why? My friend gave it to me. Then what about your friend? He only makes 3 bottles per month. Do you know the price of each? How much? $200,000. But I really need it. I realize that it's really effective for burns. It can heal without surgery, but I need more now. He said he doesn't have any more ointment, but he's a doctor too. Maybe he can help treat your burns. Okay. Hurry and call him. Now Fanny finally believed Kyla. Before, she thought that Kyla had gotten scammed. Now she truly regretted throwing out the first bottle. She'd actually tossed out $200,000. It wasn't just the money either. More importantly, The ointment's effect on her injury wasn't comparable to $200,000. She was willing to pay even $500,000. Oh, hello? Mr. Chun, I have a question. What is it? My sister's palm was burned with acid. Do you have any solutions for that? Did you buy the ointment from me for her? Chun Zhao asked. Yes. Is it effective? Yes, but she used it all up already. I see. I'm not sure if I can heal her before seeing her. Can I bring her over to you? Yes, Chun Zhao said. Are you home now? Now. Chun Zhao glanced outside. It was already 7 at night. If Kyla came over now, it would be around 9. Are you not free? My sister is really manic right now. Kyla purposely exaggerated a bit. In reality, she could tell from the earlier phone call that Fanny was feeling much better now. Chapter 543, Fanny's Journey. The road is really dark. Fanny looked at the winding forest path. She knew that Kyla was not going to harm her, but she was still worried. Kyla, anyone who lives here's got to be weird, right? Yeah, he's weird, Kyla replied impatiently. Fanny had really been pestering her with questions along the way. Could he be some kind of evil wizard? And I'll have to sacrifice something to have my hand healed? Fanny, did you get a strange role recently? Kyla asked, rolling her eyes. The place is just scary. There were no streetlights on the path, so they could only rely on the headlights. Even Kyla did not dare to drive too quickly. Suddenly, an enormous shadow flashed before them. Kyla caught a glimpse of the beast. It should be Princess. Kyla knew that Chun Zhao's pets would roam around the place all the time. Ah! Monster! Stop shouting, Kyla said impatiently. It's just a bear. What? Bears can't be that big. The beast was almost as big as their car. If you keep shouting, you can get out of the car. Kyla threatened, stepping on the brake. Indeed, Fanny stopped shouting at once. However, Fanny's greatest fear came true. The car broke down. Kyla tried to start the engine, but nothing happened. Forget it. Let's walk there. It's just 10 minutes away. No, I'm not leaving the car. Kyla, don't go. Don't worry. It's safe here. But the beast just now. Even if it's a bear, it's still dangerous. Then stay in the car. I'm going. Kyla opened the door. No, don't leave me here. Are you coming with me or not? Fanny eventually alighted from the car with Kyla. The path was in complete darkness. Even the wind and rustling of leaves managed to frighten Fanny badly. Just then the enormous beast appeared again. It stood in the middle of the path, staring at the two with its glowing eyes. Monster, monster! Fanny turned around, wanting to run, but another 2 giant beasts appeared before her. They similarly glared at Fanny with their gleaming eyes. Fanny almost collapsed on the ground. Luckily, Kyla managed to hold her with her hands. Let's go. But Fanny clearly could not move. The beast was still standing in the way. Just ignore it. Kyla walked up confidently and petted Princess's head. Hey, Princess. Roar. Princess roared and then moved away coldly. She was in the midst of playing with the silly twins and did not care about Kyla. Kyla, aren't you scared of it? She's called Princess. The 2 behind are Black Ma and White Ma. Kyla took out a banknote from her wallet. Black Ma, White Ma, could you please lead the way? Black Ma and White Ma charged up and fought to take the banknote. Oh my God. What's happening? Could wolves be bribed with money? Perhaps I should bring my wallet when I go to the wild too, Fanny thought. Alright, stop fighting. I'll give you 1 each. Black Ma and White Ma could not resist money at all, given that they could go to the supermarket themselves. The entire mountain town knew the 2 of them. They knew how to buy items and pay themselves. Of course, they could not add. Once there was a cashier who charged them $100 more. Then Chun Zhao appeared and beat the cashier up at the spot. The cashier was fired very soon after. Since then, nobody dared to deceive them. Won't they attack people? All the animals here do not attack people. They're pets, Kyla said. Princess, can you help me to move the car to the roadside? I'll pay. Princess strolled to the car. Crash. Fanny was startled. As Princess hit the car with her body, the car slid to the side of the path. However, Kyla would probably have to repair the door. After walking a few minutes, Fanny finally saw some light in the distance. In the lake was the reflection of a magnificent mansion. Under the night sky, the scenery was especially elegant. The gloominess had vanished totally, replaced by calming light. Where the light and shadows met, the chuckles of children could be heard. There even seemed to be kids playing in the water. Why would they allow children to play in the lake at this hour? It's dangerous, Fanny muttered to herself. Fanny and Kyla approached the house and knocked on the floor-to-ceiling window. Hey Kyla, have you eaten? Come and eat something. Fanny noticed Kyla. With a smile, Kyla pulled Fanny to the side. Don't step on Abitos. Only then did Fanny see the red lizard munching a bloody piece of bone beside her feet. Shocked, Fanny immediately jumped away. Just then, Black Ma and White Ma ran to Fanny in excitement and placed the banknotes on her hand. Fanny put the money into a glass jar in the living room. Fanny was very confused. What is she doing? The money in that jar has been collected by Black Ma and White Ma. Oh, where's Mr. Chun? They're in the yard. He's just finished dinner. Kyla was already used to seeing Chun Zhao in his loose shorts. Chun Zhao had always been very casual at home. Although he would not be naked, he would not wear anything too formal. Of course, given that it was his home, he could wear whatever he wanted. Mr. Chun, this is Fanny. Chun Zhao stood up and shook hands with Kyla. Is she your sister? Yes. Fanny, this is Mr. Chun. Nice to meet you. Can I take a look at your hand? After a slight hesitation, Fanny removed her glove. Chun Zhao inspected Fanny's hand. You've used my ointment. Yes. The burn is worse than I thought, Chun Zhao said. I don't have any ointment or other drugs that can help you at the moment. Miss Fanny, please come back another time. Mr. Chun, is there no other way? We can pay more. It's not about the money. I've actually sold all the drugs I have and I'm not trying to raise the price. But I can give you acupuncture to dredge your meridians for now to prevent blood stasis. When would you have the medicine? Fanny asked quickly. Not sure. It could be anywhere from a few days to a month. Is someone going to deliver the medicine to you? Kyla thought that Chun Zhao might have special, possibly illegal connections. No, I have to go into the mountains and get the ingredients myself, Chun Zhao said. Chapter 544. I know a therapist. When are you leaving? When are you coming back? Fanny asked impatiently. It doesn't go that fast, Chun Zhao said. Fanny, if you need acupuncture now, I can help you do that first. Fanny, since Mr. Chun said that, you don't need to worry. I just want to know the exact time. Mr. Chun, can we stay the night? Sure. Be my guest. After accepting Chun Zhao's acupuncture, Fanny felt the stinging pain in her palm lessen. It didn't feel like she was getting stabbed by needles anymore. However, it could only relieve her pain temporarily. At night, she woke up from the pain again. She went downstairs to find water and suddenly heard a whoosh. When she turned around, she saw a huge creature fly across the front yard. The creature was huge. Its back was already taller than one floor, so Fanny couldn't clearly see what it was at all. Plus it was too fast. It disappeared in the blink of the eye. Fanny was a bit confused. She actually didn't feel any fear. Instead, she walked out of the room and went to the yard. Fanny looked around. There didn't seem to be anything in the lake on her left. There was a waterfall in the distance. She stared at it. There seemed to be light in the waterfall. Fanny walked over almost on autopilot. The waterfall wasn't big, but the stones under it were a bit slippery. Fanny stood up with difficulty. She saw that there was more than one light spot in the dark cave inside the waterfall. There seemed to be something staring at her in the darkness. Now Fanny wasn't sure if this was a dream or reality. Perhaps it was a dream. Hello. A snake head darted out of the cave. Huge. Huge. One pair of light spots were from this head. There were other spots of light deep inside the cave too. There was a sharp horn on the snake's head. The skin was slightly red and a red tongue darted out. It approached Fanny. Fanny was completely treating this as a dream now. She reached out her right hand, slowly approaching the snake. The snake's tongue licked Fanny's palm and slowly opened its mouth. This scene should be terrifying, but Fanny felt no fear. Perhaps it was due to it being a dream. She didn't feel any evil intentions from the snake. The snake started inhaling. Something seemed to get sucked out of Fanny's palm. It was a green vapor. It felt comfortable, like when she applied the ointment, the cool feeling. After a few inhales, the snake licked Fanny's palm again. Suddenly, she heard a voice sound in her ears. Sleep. Go to sleep. Oh, Mr. Chun, Fanny still hasn't woken up? When Kyla went downstairs, she saw Chan Zhao sitting in the dining room alone. No, let her sleep a bit more. Kyla waited for 2 hours, but Fanny still didn't get up. Opening her bedroom door, Kyla found her still deep in sleep. That's weird. Is she that tired? She's sleeping like a rock. Just then Fanny happened to wake up. Kyla, why are you in my room? Fanny, aren't you a picky sleeper too? How come you slept so well? I don't know. I had a weird dream last night. Okay, I'm not interested in your dream. Get up and go wash. Huh. When Fanny got up, she discovered that her palm didn't hurt at all. The burn seemed to have healed a lot too. What's wrong? Kyla asked. It was sticky? Fanny touched her left hand. There seemed to be a layer of sticky stuff on it. This was too weird. What was it? Do you feel unwell? Should I call Mr. Chun? No, I don't feel unwell at all. Fanny went downstairs. She was still confused about the stuff on her left hand. Fanny, what are you looking at? Is there something on your hand? Kyla, does Mr. Chun have a big snake? Big snake? Yeah, did you see Raymond? Raymond? Where? Fanny hadn't seen him. Look, it's under the plant. Wow, such a big poisonous snake. Fanny was shocked, but she quickly calmed down again. Oh. No, that's not it. What's not it? I dreamed of a big snake yesterday. It was in the cave under the waterfall. You went to the waterfall last night? It's dangerous. It's too slippery. No, it's just a dream. After breakfast, Fanny was about to put on her shoes when she realized her feet were dirty. Huh. Fanny's eyebrow arched. Fanny, ready? We have to leave. Fanny suddenly rushed out barefooted. Fanny, where are you going? Kyla followed Fanny out. Fanny ran to the front yard and then the waterfall. Fanny, come back. It's dangerous. Don't slip. Fanny was unmoved. She didn't care about the waterfall splashing on her either. Are you there? Hello. Are you there? Mr. Snake. Just then Chan Zhao walked over. When Kyla saw him, she immediately said, Mr. Chun, do you know what's going on? Why is Fanny acting like this? I don't know. Chan Zhao shook his head. Strange. Did I mess up anywhere? Fanny ran into the cave. It wasn't deep. There were only 5 or 6 meters. There was nothing other than some puddles of water. Nothing? How can there be nothing? Why is there nothing? Fanny's face was filled with confusion. This was impossible. Why was there nothing here? She ran out of the cave again and went to Chan Zhao and Kyla. Pulling Chan Zhao, she demanded, You know, right, Mr. Chun? What? What are you talking about? The big snake. Where is it? What big snake? You mean Raymond? Not Raymond. A big snake. Bigger than me. Maybe like me. Its head has a big horn. Chan Zhao glanced at Kyla and whispered, Are you sure Fanny's all right in there? I'm not crazy. Don't think I have mental issues. I'm very clear-headed. Fanny was like an angry cat. I know what I'm saying. I realize that my feet are dirty. Oh, you were walking around the house barefooted, Kyla said. No, I'm sure. I had moss on my feet. Look, it's like this. Afraid that she wasn't being clear, Fanny even lifted her feet. I wasn't dreaming last night. I really did come here and saw a big snake. A really, really big snake. Kyla, I know a therapist. Chapter 545 Leave. Fanny, let's go, Kyla urged. You don't trust me, do you? No, I do trust you. You just don't believe me. Fanny stamped her foot in anger. Kyla gave Chen Zhao a look of apology and went to chase Fanny. Chen Zhao rubbed his nose helplessly. On their way back, Fanny remained silent. Fine, stop being mad. I'll buy you the latest Baroness handbag. No. Kyla, I'm really disappointed. Do you think that I've lost my mind? No, I really trust you. That's a lie. Why would you believe my ridiculous story? Actually, on my first night in Mr. Chen Zhao's house, I also saw some supernatural creatures. Fanny immediately turned to look at Kyla. Seriously? I'm not too sure. I even suspect that I might be dreaming, Kyla said. I think I saw goblins. You surely think that I'm insane too, but I'm serious. Hearing that, Fanny fell silent. After a while she said, last night, for some reason, I went downstairs and then saw an enormous creature run past the forecourt. It's giant, many times bigger than Princess. And then I went to look for the creature and found the cave. There I saw an enormous snake. How big was it? I think its neck alone was 40 centimeters in diameter. Its head was as big as my body. Did it not attack you? No, it seemed friendly. Or at least I thought so. Fanny said, it licked my hand. When I woke up this morning my hand was sticky. Kyla touched Fanny's palm. It indeed felt sticky. Oh, boss. Murphy ran to Chen Zhao. How come you're here? I don't need your help in the day. Go, Chen Zhao said. Boss, I would like to apply for leave. Murphy looked at Chen Zhao with an awkward face. Chen Zhao frowned. What did a boss hate most? Employees applying for leave, obviously. Chen Zhao actually hoped that Murphy would be on duty even outside his working hours. Chen Zhao was merely being polite just now. Reason? Murphy lowered his head. He opened his mouth a few times but did not say anything. Why? Is it something you can't tell me? Oh, actually it's Professor Carlo. Murphy was still very scared, no fearful of Chen Zhao. Perhaps the others did not know how terrifying Chen Zhao was, but he did. Even the two legendary creatures hidden in the basement could frighten him. Not long ago, dozens of people had vanished in this very mansion. Murphy knew every detail. He was kind of scared of Chen Zhao's every action. He asked you to help him? Chen Zhao asked. Yes, Murphy answered carefully. Don't tell me you've been working for both me and him all this while. Chen Zhao squinted and glared at Murphy. No, it's my father. He owes Professor Carlo a favor. Son paying his father's debt. Fine. Chen Zhao closed his eyes and lay on the lounger. Murphy stood at the side in silence, awaiting Chen Zhao's reply. Chen Zhao did not like Carlo. It was a very subjective thing. He felt that Carlo was just like Pierce South. Of course, Carlo was not as threatening. But they were both eager for quick success. Why did Carlo ask Murphy to come here in the first place? To steal his painting and show off. In fact, Carlo's action was similar to what Pierce South had done. They both wanted to force him with unconventional means. Of course, Chen Zhao would not allow them to do whatever they wanted. He was not a friend of Carlo. Why must he help Carlo? Because they had met once. Because they had both survived that night. Chen Zhao had survived with Tyler, not Carlo. That night, Carlo did not once stop to help him. Moreover, even if it was Tyler, Chen Zhao would not agree to all his requests. In some sense he owed Tyler a favor, but it was not that much. Chen Zhao obviously would not agree if Tyler were to invite him to die together. How dangerous was that mountain? Even Chen Zhao was unsure. 2 crypt demons almost wiped out the entire adventure team. Deeper into the mountain there would surely be more crypt demons. Chen Zhao might be able to deal with 1, 2, or 3 of them, but how about more? Chen Zhao did not think that he was invincible. Unless someone he knew was in danger. If it was Fei Lai, he would go. If it was Ethan, he would go as well. And the same for Sienna. These people were really close to him. Even for several others, Chen Zhao would think about it. However, He would definitely not go to such a dangerous place for someone whom he had met once. As for Murphy, Chen Zhao did not want him to go. Even though Murphy was over 20, he still behaved like a kid. He was like a young adult who had just left his village to work outside. Chen Zhao did not want Murphy to die. Even Chen Zhao was not confident that he could return safely. Murphy. He would almost surely lose his life. Give me your father's number, Chen Zhao said. I need to ask him first. Huh? You want to call my dad? What? Is there a problem? Okay. Fine. Chen Zhao took Murphy's phone. Go and take a stroll. I'll call you later. After Murphy left, Chen Zhao found his father's number. Hello. Who are you? You're not Murphy. Why do you have his phone? I'm Murphy's boss, Chen Zhao answered. Oh, you're the person who hired him. I heard from Murphy that you've asked him to assist Carlo. Yes. Did Murphy tell you? Do you really hate your son? Why? I love him. The place Carlo is about to go. Do you know how dangerous it is? Oh. That day I was there. I met his team on the edge of the zone to be explored. Then we encountered 2 monsters, which was enough for his team to flee in panic. Just 2 monsters. If they go deeper, they'll meet more monsters. According to my understanding, there's no way Murphy will survive that. But Carlo said that he'll protect Murphy. Ha! Why would Carlo bring Murphy along? To fight for him, not to be in the way. Why would he take care of Murphy? Let him hide behind the entire team? Also, if there's really a danger that could eliminate the team, how would he protect Murphy? He won't even be able to protect himself. Chapter 546. Boxing Competition. Chen Zhao thought that he'd convinced Murphy's father. But after 3 seconds of silence, Murphy's father said, sorry. Despite what you said, Murphy still has to go. Fuck. Crack. Murphy ran over at the sound and saw that his phone had been shattered. Boss, you have to pay for my phone. Take it. Chen Zhao tossed him $100 bill. He studied Murphy for a while and asked, where's your mom? Are you unhappy from the talk with my dad? It actually wasn't that bad, Chen Zhao said nonchalantly. Murphy looked at the pieces of his phone on the ground. This was the result of something that wasn't that bad. So what would he do if it was bad? It's always been my mom who contacted me, Murphy said. I don't have her contact info. Chen Zhao rubbed his forehead. Then where does your dad live? Murphy stopped talking. It felt like Chen Zhao wanted to kill his dad. Judging from his tone, Chen Zhao really wanted to kill his dad. Do you have to go? Murphy lowered his head. After a pause, he said, I have to listen to my dad. Come back alive, Chen Zhao said. Boss, is that an order? Chen Zhao kicked Murphy's thigh. On the rare occasion that he was acting sentimental, this guy just had to ruin the atmosphere. I went once and almost died, Chen Zhao said. I hope you're luckier than me. Murphy gulped. If Chen Zhao had almost died, then it must truly be dangerous. All Chen Zhao could do was to remind Murphy and tell him how far it was. Other than that, he couldn't do anything else. Go in there with him. No way. Professor Carlo. Mr. Chen, you actually called me. How unusual. So, did you think it through? You want to join my expedition team? My team is full now, but if it's you, then I'd love to add you in. Think it through. Only those who haven't thought it through would want to join your team. Chen Zhao rolled his eyes. Come here and take Murphy away. I'm a bit busy, Carlo said politely. Can Murphy come alone? He didn't want to face Chen Zhao. He felt that there was something wrong with Chen Zhao's tone. What, you don't want to see me? But I miss you so much. How about I go over there? Oh, your team is full, right? Let me help you test their abilities just in case there are any cheaters. I'll come over right now. Chen Zhao was clearly threatening him. If he didn't go over, then Chen Zhao would come. The team that he put together with such difficulty might get torn apart with Chen Zhao's bare hands. He didn't think that his men could fight with someone who killed a crypt demon if they didn't use guns. A while later, Carlo hurried to Chen Zhao's house. Mr. Chen. Professor Carlo, I have a nautical diary. You should be able to translate it for me, right? Spanish? Carlo put on his glasses. The language is quite ancient. Some of the grammar has even disappeared from modern Spanish. You can translate it, right? This counts as repaying what I owe, right? Carlo asked. Yes. There's quite a lot of content in this diary. Just leave it with me for now. I'll translate it when I have time and return it to you. Chun Zhao scoffed. Then no. This diary can't leave my line of sight. You can come over to translate when you have time. You'll repay your debt when you finish. Mr. Chun, how about you go with me to that place? When we come out, I'll arrange some time to help you translate this diary. This old bastard moved back to this within 3 sentences. You better die in there, Chun Zhao said, annoyed. Remember to bring Murphy out in one piece. Carlo took Murphy away. Chun Zhao was a bit worried about Murphy, but since he wanted to go die there, it wasn't like Chun Zhao would stop him. Just then his phone rang. It was Tiger. Mr. Chun, I have a competition today. Do you have time? Okay, no problem. Where? Oh. Chun Zhao had called Gaia and Tiger these past 2 days. He knew that Tiger already entered the elimination round of the state BBL. Today's round would produce the top 32 boxers. Chun Zhao was quite excited to see Tiger's performance. He called Fei Lai, wanting her to go together and cheer Tiger on. Boxing was a very enthusiastic sport in America. Even though BBL was a second-tier competition, it still couldn't stop the audience's enthusiasm. When Chun Zhao and Fei Lai arrived, the thousands of seats were already filled. Tiger now had a professional coaching team. It had been established by Gaia personally. Just then the MC got on stage. Welcome to the state BBL elimination competition. Today is the first round. Now let's welcome our contestants. George Rodney from Pennsylvania is the champion of his state. He participated in 98 professional competitions, KO'd his opponent 19 times, and reached 190 kilograms for his heaviest weight lifted. Welcome. George Rodney entered the ring with a cape. He jogged around the ring under the audience's cheers. Now let's welcome George's opponent. Tiger Joller is currently studying at UCLA, but he's an infamous genius. He received his professional license last year and KO'd his opponent 3 times in a row in this year's BBL qualifying. He's also the champion of his state. Can he KO his opponent again this time? Let's watch and see. Welcome. Tiger wasn't fast. He sauntered through the opponent's passage. Gaia and the team followed behind him. Chun, that kid can win, right? Fei Lai knew that Tiger was Chun Zhao's student, so she naturally supported him. She wasn't interested in boxing, but supporting her man and his student was natural. If he loses, I'm going to throw him into the lake for 3 days and 3 nights. Now the match begins. The MC retreated and the referee entered. Amidst the whistle, the referee's hand fell down. The match officially began. Tiger reached out a fist, wanting to bump fists with George. This was a show of a friendly fight on the boxing ring. It was also good sportsmanship and respect for the opponent. But George ignored Tiger. His fist hooked up at Tiger suddenly. Tiger leaned back, dodging the punch. He didn't expect George to be so sly. Of course, this wasn't illegal, because the match had already begun. Sneak attacks were allowed. It went against sportsmanship, but it didn't break the rules. Jeers came from the audience. They also thought that this was a shameful move. Kid, pretty lucky, huh? Come and try to punch me if you can get me, of course. Chapter 547 KO. Chun Zhao frowned. Tiger's opponent was really an asshole. Fei Lai was similarly displeased. She stood up at once and shouted, Tiger, beat the shit out of him. Stunned, Chun Zhao looked at Fei Lai. He had never seen her being so forceful. Tiger seemed to have noticed the voice from the front seats. Turning his head slightly, he glanced in Chun Zhao and Fei Lai's direction. Just then George Rodney attacked again. Thud. Tiger was hit and took 2 steps back. Kid, were you looking? George Rodney smirked. Tiger shook his head. The punch was too weak. Compared to Chun Zhao and Gaia, it was more like a scratch. Just then George Rodney initiated a chain of attacks. Left uppercut, right uppercut, uppercut. It seemed like Tiger was unable to fight back at all. Tiger only maintained his defense, blocking all the attacks. Tiger's only being hit. Fei Lai seemed worried. Don't worry. He knows what he's doing. The first round ended very soon. The referee separated the two by force. Tiger returned to the side of the ring. Gaia and some other staff walked up to change his mouthguard and feed him water. How is it? Gaia asked. So. His strength is mediocre. Won't be able to threaten me with quick punches. Good. Do what you have to. Chun and Fei Lai are in the audience. Don't keep them waiting. Got it. I'll end it this round, Tiger said. In the opposite corner, George Rodney was also talking to his coach. He was drinking in big mouthfuls. In the first round, he had been attacking continuously, which was exhausting. George, make it quick. It's too tiring to attack like that, his coach said. I know. Stop repeating that. Can't you see that he couldn't even fight back? KO him ASAP. Yup. Ding. The second round began. Tiger and George returned to their spots, facing each other. George resumed his steady attack. In his opinion, Tiger was no match for him at all. However, unlike the first round, Tiger did not just defend. He suddenly raised his fist and punched out like a bolt of lightning. It was quick, accurate, and powerful. His fist landed hard on George's face, after which he withdrew his hand and stepped back. George froze on the spot. Then he slowly collapsed on his side. Rah-rah. The audience cheered loudly. Tiger! 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 What's the most exciting thing you can see in a boxing match? KO. Everyone had been waiting for a KO. At the moment, Tiger's punch was being replayed continuously on the big screen. 401 kilometers. God, that's a fast punch. I didn't even see how he attacked. Me too. I saw Tiger move back and then George stopped moving. Should have bet on him. Damn, I've lost 200, but I think I'm in love with him. Nice one. Tiger, I love you. The referee had already started the count for George, who was on the floor. Unfortunately, after the count of 10, George still did not get up. He was actually unconscious, but nobody knew how injured he was. Nevertheless, it was a boxing match. Even if he died, nobody would remember him. Nobody would sympathize with the losers. They would only cheer for the victors. Tiger enjoyed the cheers of the crowd, but he only looked at Chen Zhao. Mr. Chun, did you see that? I did it. I did it. I'll bring you the championship belt. Chen Zhao and Fei Lai also stood up to applaud for Tiger. After the match, Tiger still had to undergo a urine test. Chen Zhao did not wait for him. He and Fei Lai drove back home. Just then he received a call from Dell. Chun, the boxer that you introduced to me is great. He had a match just now. It was amazing. Then put more effort into him. I've invested quite a lot in him. Chen Zhao had invested in Tiger in order to earn more money. That was the final goal. Meanwhile, it would be great if Tiger could enjoy flowers and honor, fame, fortune, and the joy of victory. When shall we go hunting again? Fuck. Have you forgotten the last encounter? No, I mean normal hunting. Can't take that again. If you weren't there, Johnny and I might have stayed in that mountain forest forever. After a short pause, Dell added, that Carlo even found my house and asked for funding to help his team. Chen Zhao frowned. Did you agree? No, why would I? My money didn't just fall from the sky. I heard from Johnny that Carlo went to find him too. That old asshole is really trying everything he can. He even asked me to join his team. What a plan. Asking the rich for money and the strong for power. Dell laughed. Oh. The next day, Chen Zhao had only been to UCLA 4 times this month. This was the 5th time. The college car park was full again. Chen Zhao could only park the RV on the roadside. Wright had told him that she had not seen Princess in a long while. Chen Zhao had specially brought Princess and the rest here. Most people in the college were already used to seeing the group of pets. They also knew who their master was. Of course, most of them would still choose to avoid the gang. It was Simba and Nala's first time here. so they seemed to be particularly curious about their surroundings. With Briar and Bramble, they formed a four-man gang. At home there was no mischief they would not commit. Outside they were similarly fearless. Meow. I came, I saw, I conquered. Standing on Princess's back, Samuel meowed loudly. Princess, bring them and visit right. Black Ma, White Ma, look after the little guys. Don't let them go missing. Chun Zhao headed straight to the boxing club. Princess and the rest were already familiar with the place. Even without Chun Zhao, they could find Wright's office. Nonetheless, when they entered the office building, they still managed to cause an uproar. Even if they did nothing, as long as they stood in the corridor, nobody would dare to near them. At the moment, there were 5 young men and women in Wright's office. They had just finished their applications to become lecturers at UCLA. Bang bang. Suddenly they heard someone knock on the door. The 5 lecturers were somewhat confused. Who would knock on Wright's door like this? Open the door, Wright said. The moment they did so, they were startled by the huge mouth outside. Ah! Oh. Chapter 548, Two-Person World. Mr. Chun. Mr. Chun. Who is that? Why does everyone in the boxing club respect him so much? Is he a coach? Him? He's the mascot of our club. He's the strongest. Isn't Tiger the strongest of our club? Tiger is his student. But he looks normal and kind of small. As soon as Chun Zhao arrived at the club, the members latched onto him to practice. Of course, it wasn't the members training Chun Zhao but Chun Zhao training them. Okay, Chun Zhao had quite a history with the club. So after changing into the gear, Chun Zhao came. Hey, what kind of force do you want? Chun Zhao asked. Mr. Chun, I want to try what Tiger usually takes. Are you sure? Then maybe a bit softer? The person across from him wasn't really sure either. Actually, they wanted to train with Chun Zhao, but they didn't know how strong he could be. They just wanted to experience Tiger's training process. Sure. Then I'll start. Don't push yourself too much, Chun Zhao reminded. A lot of people gathered around the ring but some newbie whispered, that Asian really likes to brag. He's about the same size as Cobley, but he told Cobley to watch out. The surrounding people looked at the newbie strangely and stopped talking. Boom. A muffled thud came from the ring. Chun Zhao's punch had already come. Cobley's body floated up and flew back. He flew more than 30 inches before he stopped himself. He could barely stay steady. His arms were numb. Thankfully, this punch hit the pad. Even behind the cushion, he could still feel how terrifying the punch was. How strong was a punch that could send a 1.9-meter-tall guy flying? Seeing that Cobley wasn't hurt, Chun Zhao was about to attack again. Mr. Chun, Cobley cried out. Stop, enough. I'll get hurt if you keep going. That's it. Chun Zhao only punched once on the ring and it ended. Didn't feel enough at all. At least let him sweat a bit. I'll do it. Mr. Chun, I want to try too. Everyone wanted to try getting sent flying by a professional boxer. A dozen people came in a row. Each one wanted to see what it felt like to get blasted by Chun Zhao. This trend didn't stop until Tiger came. Alright, you guys. Tiger called. Stop giving Mr. Chun trouble. After Tiger changed his clothes and got the gear, he went up to the ring. He could clearly feel his improvement after getting trained by Chun Zhao and Gaia. While punching, Chun Zhao asked Tiger, how was yesterday's fight? Not bad. The opponent was kind of weak. The opponents will only get stronger. Don't drag things out in the next round. KO him directly if you can. Try to preserve your energy. If you're on the defensive for an entire round like yesterday, you'll get hurt. Okay, got it. How's the strength now? Want me to go harder? Yeah, add some more. Tiger nodded. Oh, it was the most terrifying day for the 5 new lecturers. Because Wright wanted them to help take care of Princess and the others. The smaller ones were alright. But Princess, the silly twins, and Abitos were large carnivores. They were also gigantic. Before Wright left, she also said that if they weren't eaten today, they would be hired officially. They didn't even know if Wright was joking or being serious. They didn't receive salvation until the pet's owner came in the evening. When Chen Zhao got home, he saw a few cars parked in front of the house. He entered and found that his mom had come. Yura was sitting on the side with an upset expression. Fei Lai stood on the side giving Chen Zhao's mom tea. "Mom, how come you're here?" "I'm bringing Yura back." To be honest, Chen Zhao's mom was very surprised to see that Yura had actually gotten tan. She didn't have the sluggishness from before. Her entire being had become spirited. Chen Zhao's mom didn't know how Chen Zhao did it. When she'd arrived, Yura was playing in the lake with Cheryl. Chen Zhao's mom might not even be able to swim that distance, but Yura could play easily in the center of the lake. Yura had changed completely, becoming spirited and healthy. This made her wonder if Yura's sickness had been cured. "Oh," Chen Zhao answered. "Mom, I still want to play." "No, I feel kind of uncomfortable," Yura said, pouting. "Only brother can heal me." "You've already played here for more than 10 days. "I'm not playing," Yura refuted. "I'm staying here so brother can help treat me." "Stop adding trouble for your brother," her mom said. "You can come to play when you have time." "Do I have to go back to that glass box?" Her mom's heart clenched. That glass box was like a prison to Yura. "No, you don't need it anymore." "Chen Zhao, I'm bringing Yura back now." "Mom, don't you want to stay for dinner?" "No, or else Yura might find another excuse to stay. It's actually not a problem for her to stay." His mom chuckled. Chen Zhao treated Yura greatly, but they weren't a family in the end. The thing between Chen Zhao and his mom would never disappear. After Yura left, Cheryl lost her friend, so Sienna and Chris brought her home too. The house quieted down suddenly. To be honest, after the two kids messed around for a dozen days, Chen Zhao wasn't really used to the sudden peace. Fei Lai felt a bit regretful because she didn't have the chance to show her good housewife side. But at night, Chen Zhao and Fei Lai weren't restricted to the bedroom anymore. They could enjoy shamelessly in every corner of the house. They didn't have to worry about the kids outside their room seeing. When they got tired, they could lay on the ground and rest for a few minutes before starting again. This was the life that made them happy. The two battled from the inside to outside the house. Then they started playing in the pool. "Chun, I want to drink." "Okay, I'll go get it." Chen Zhao ran into the kitchen naked. When he brought out a few cans of beer, it suddenly disappeared from his arms. He froze. Where was the beer? Where did it go? Did he accidentally put it into his spatial ring? But there didn't seem to be anything in the ring. Chen Zhao looked everywhere, but there was nothing. "Chun, how come you're taking so long?" "Okay, I'm coming." Chapter 549. Goddess Nuwa's Understanding. Chen Zhao took out a few more cans of beer. This time nothing bizarre happened. However, Chen Zhao could not forget about it. After all, he was a senior wizard and it was his house. However, something which he could not comprehend had happened. Chen Zhao was very much put on alert. After Fei Lai went to sleep, Chen Zhao went to the living room. AI, find the video record of the living room and kitchen from 12:05 to 12:10. Very soon, the video was being played on the television. In the video, Chen Zhao entered the kitchen at 12:06. Then he walked out with the beer. The entire process only took more than 20 seconds. Chen Zhao stared at the screen. Suddenly, something flashed in the video. Then the beer disappeared. What was it? Chen Zhao frowned. What exactly had happened? There was nothing in the video, but the strange thing really did happen. Chen Zhao looked completely lost, just like him in the video. He stood up and walked to the location of the peculiar occurrence. Looking around, he searched for anything that might be suspicious. Eventually, Chen Zhao's eyes locked onto the brush painting hung on the wall. He stared at the painting. It was an ordinary landscape painting with mountains and water. In the painting, the mountains towered into the clouds. It seemed rather unique. Since Chen Zhao received the painting, he had never discovered anything special about it. Was it because of the painting? Chen Zhao was unsure. However, in his immediate surroundings, the painting was the most suspicious item. Moreover, the painting had an unusual background. In Tripempton's great collection, most items were extremely valuable. Even the nautical dairy, which was initially thought to be worthless, was proved useful. All in all, Chen Zhao was very suspicious about the painting's origin. Suddenly, Chen Zhao seemed to notice something among the mountains and fog. Chen Zhao continued to stare at it. It moved. The thing moved. It was not a mountain. The next moment, Chen Zhao felt the entire world spin. Then he realized that he was at the foot of a mountain covered in clouds. Fuck, it's actually the painting. He was in the painting. He was in the painting right now. Although Chen Zhao had never inspected the painting carefully, he could more or less recognize the scenery. Suddenly, the fog began to dissipate. Chen Zhao saw something as big as a mountain, a gargantuan beast. It was an enormous tortoise with a dozen mountain peaks on its back. The tortoise moved its head before Chen Zhao. Its neck was thin and long. No, it was actually a turtle. It was a super turtle. However, it only seemed to have 3 legs. Chen Zhao felt like something was stuck in his throat. He could not even shout. Chen Zhao did not know how powerful it was, but it was 20 or 30 times larger than Beelzebub Sophie's true form. It was like the difference between Princess and Briar and Bramble. Anyway, it was simply very extremely big. Chen Zhao thought that he was basically a monster among humans. But a punch from his right arm was at most 5 tons. It was surely insignificant to the super beast before him. Who are you? Chen Zhao asked in Chinese. It was probably a Chinese turtle. I'm your fucking dad. The turtle replied in English. Chen Zhao was speechless. You're a Western monster. Monster? Your entire family are monsters. Looking at my size, you should at least call me Divine Beast, right? How did you learn English? What do you think? I've been drifting in the West for 100 years, hung on the wall every now and then. Everyone around me spoke English. Even a fool would have learned the language. Here, you can hear people outside speak? What? How would I learn it if I can't hear them? Fine. Chen Zhao was speechless. The turtle was a senior international student. May I ask, who are you? Notice my 3 legs? What does that remind you of? The giant turtle stared at Chen Zhao in anticipation. 3-legged turtle. The turtle seemed upset. I'm the great turtle. Let me read the classic of mountains and seas when I get back. The 3-legged turtle was even more disappointed. Don't you recall anything? Like Goddess Nuwa? Oh, I know. Got it. Chen Zhao clapped his hands. Haha. I knew it. People still remember me. The 3-legged turtle was delighted. You're Goddess Nuwa's mount. Fuck. The 3-legged turtle's English was very fluent, even better than Chen Zhao's. Are you not? I'm the sky mender. The 3-legged turtle roared. Goddess Nuwa cut off one of my legs to support the sky. Oh, shouldn't you be more excited? I'm so excited. That's too fake. Why are you hiding in the painting? As a reward for my contribution, Goddess Nuwa said that she would fulfill a wish of mine. I said I would like to live forever. And then she sealed me in this river map. Did Goddess Nuwa misunderstand the meaning of live forever? Chen Zhao could clearly see the turtle's mouth twitch. I think so. This reminded Chen Zhao of a popular joke. Someone picked up the magic lamp, and the genie promised him a wish. He said he would like to know how to swim. Then the genie turned the person into a fish. Initially, Chen Zhao thought the turtle's wish was great, but looking at the outcome, Goddess Nuwa surely did not put in much effort. Time flow in the river map is thousands of times slower than the outside. So to be honest, Goddess Nuwa did fulfill my wish. I'm basically going to live forever here. How optimistic is that? Chen Zhao sighed. Of course. If I'm not that optimistic, I would have lost my mind long ago. Oh, never mind. I should stop talking about Goddess Nuwa before I get any retributions. Then why did you summon me in? Not me. You came here yourself. What? I came in here myself? Why do I not know that? This is the river map. Apart from Goddess Nuwa, nobody can enter or leave. How do I get out now? Dunno. Stop lying to me. I really don't know. If I do, I would have gone out long ago, the old turtle said. Chun Zhao was upset. What's this? Someone, help. Do you have alcohol with you? Oh, did you take the beer just now? Chun Zhao shivered. Yes, I can take things from outside, but I can't bring any people inside, the old turtle said. Can you move the TV in your living room? I can't see it from here. Or maybe hang the river map in a different direction. Oh. Chapter 550 In and Out. Don't you have any internal alchemy pills? The kind that can take me straight to heaven? Yes. You want some? Yes, if you're willing to give me some. Then take it. Old Turtle opened his mouth and a stone ball the size of a basketball fell before Chun Zhao. This is my internal alchemy. Eat it and you can go to heaven. Chun Zhao reached out and patted it. It was harder than stone. You're kidding, right? No, I'm serious. That's my internal alchemy. You just took it out to make a sport of me because you know I can't chew it, right? I have so much of this. There's no point in making a sport out of you. You have a lot. Duh. I've been in the human world for thousands of years. I just cultivate when I'm bored. What's so strange about cultivating such a large internal alchemy over thousands of years? Chun Zhao opened the mouth of gluttony and tried biting the internal alchemy. Then pain came from the mouth. Fuck, broke my teeth. Okay, Chun Zhao didn't have the luck to enjoy this thing. Do you have any collections and stuff? Give me an adventure. Yeah, Old Turtle said. Really? Here. Old Turtle opened its mouth. A pile of scrap metal tumbled out. Chun Zhao looked through all the metal. There was a bronze sword, an iron sword, a knight sword, a samurai sword. Anyway, there were a bunch of things. But most of them were covered with rust. There was one well-preserved bronze sword though. The pattern was pretty too. The image on the blade, the detailed pattern. Is this the Xinyuan sword? You're overthinking. This was from years ago when the painting hung in some king's palace. I stole it from the king's room. But it's the most well-preserved, so it should be the best, right? I just kept it because I think it's pretty. Fuck, I want divine weapons. Why did you get me all this shit? They could survive my saliva. That means they're not bad quality. Even if they're not divine weapons, they're still treasures. You can use them to chop people up. What era is this? Using this to chop people up. You want me to die faster? Even a submachine gun is more realistic. Chun Zhao was completely disappointed. This old turtle wasn't reliable or sane. Chun Zhao held a samurai sword with his left hand and the bronze sword in the right. Huff huff, ha ha. He lost interest after a few chops. Then he lay on the ground and rolled around. He couldn't go out. How do I get out? I'm not going to be stuck in here with an old turtle for a few thousand years, right? Are there any monsters other than you in here? Get some out for me to chop up. I'm so bored. There were before. And now. One day I wanted to move my body. I accidentally squashed it. That's a sad story. Chun Zhao suddenly thought of something. How do you look outside? How come I can't see it? Close your eyes and look with your soul. Use my soul. Chun Zhao closed his eyes. Suddenly an image appeared in his mind. It was the view of his living room from the wall. His heart jumped and he suddenly felt a pull. When he opened his eyes again, he saw that he was already back in the living room. Hey, I'm out. Haha, I'm out. Just then Fei Lai woke up from the sound. She walked out of her bedroom and saw Chun Zhao dancing around with a bronze sword in the living room. Chun, what are you doing? Huh? Fei Lai, did I wake you up? What happened? Why are you so happy? No, nothing. Chun Zhao shook his head with a laugh. Where did you get that sword from? From the trash. Chun Zhao put it inside his spatial ring and looked back at the river map. Was this the famous river map? By now, the content had returned to the painting of clouds and mountains. But it felt so nice to be able to come out. At least he wouldn't be stuck in it for eternity like Old Turtle. Oh. He could still sleep with Fei Lai in his arms. Next day, After Fei Lai left, Chen Zhao went into the river map again. It was very easy to enter. There was no difficulty at all. Old Turtle, do you want me to bring some things for you? Chen Zhao asked. Old Turtle had been stuck here for thousands, no millions of years. It was more than enough. Game console, Old Tortoise said without hesitation. Game console? Are you sure you can play it? You're huge. But then Old Turtle shook. Chapter 551. Linear Plot. The fact that Chen Zhao hated Carlo did not prevent him from admiring the beauty before him. She looked particularly charming in her tight clothes. I'm not sent by that old asshole Carlo, the black-haired beauty said. I'm Murphy's mom. Spit. Chen Zhao almost vomited blood. The lady who looked as old as him was Murphy's mother. Stop lying. I'm serious. I'm already 56 this year. Chen Zhao did not believe it. He couldn't. There was no way this 20-year-old lady could be Murphy's mom. Were you 5 when you were pregnant with Murphy? Have you forgotten my bloodline? Vampire. My name is Agnes Dracula. I don't like people calling me a vampire. Dracula? That Dracula? Dracula is a common surname among the kindred. I'm not sure if Count Dracula really exists, Agnes said. But it won't make sense for him to exist. We live for at most 150 years, not 400. Don't the kindred age? Not if we drink enough human blood. Fine. How much human blood have you drunk? Are you going to help me save Murphy or not? Agnes asked. She was already impatient. Chen Zhao had kept changing the topic. Sorry, I'm busy. Chen Zhao had already advised Murphy not to go. But he had to go and kill himself. Why must Chen Zhao take the risk? It was not like Murphy was his son. $1 million, Agnes said with a serious tone as she stared at Chen Zhao. Why are you asking me? I'm just a human. But I know you're strong. But I'm scared of death. Me too, Agnes said. Everyone is. Thanks for your understanding. The door is there. Goodbye. Do you know why Murphy's father insisted that Murphy go there? I'm not interested in any stories. Chen Zhao covered his ears. He was determined not to get himself involved. Regardless of what Agnes was about to say, he would not go. Not even with $1 million. That place was too dangerous. It would not matter how much money he could receive if he died there. Severin and I met 22 years ago. As if she did not hear Chen Zhao's words, Agnes continued talking. I'm not interested. Wait for me to finish. That time I was already pregnant with Murphy. Which means Murphy isn't your husband's son. But Severin still raised Murphy up like his own son. And then, but as he aged I was still young. He began to try all he could to become a kindred like me. What a great ambition. Chen Zhao could not help but satirize. Since Agnes really wanted to tell him the story, he would listen. But even after that, he would not go to the place. Wait, don't tell me Murphy is Carlo's son. Chen Zhao suddenly felt that it was very likely. Agnes' husband found a wife and got a son for free. He appeared to be obedient and responsible, but he was actually distorted inside. Then he deliberately sent Murphy to Carlo, so that Carlo could kill Murphy. This seemed to be the right plot. Anyway, this was what would happen in films. Stop overthinking. Murphy is unrelated to Carlo. I'm unrelated to Carlo too. Agnes added, I was only in Carlo's team for a period of time in the past. Unfortunate. What? Chen Zhao found it unfortunate that the plot did not unfold according to his imagination. There was no love and hatred. The plot seemed too linear and uninteresting. Any American series with such a plotline would surely be dead after 3 episodes. Anyway, it turns out that the ancient ruin Carlo's about to explore is actually very much related to the kindred. Carlo said that the ruin contains the elixir of life. Don't tell me it's a potion that converts a person into a vampire. Correct. Severin asked Murphy to go so that Murphy could bring him the potion. Chen Zhao yawned. What a boring story. And then, although the story was dull, Chen Zhao had already listened to half of it. In fact, it's not a potion to convert into a kindred. According to records in our family, it's a potion to convert into a crypt demon. Family records. Carlos said that it's a ruin from the prehistoric era. You really have a long history. The kindred has existed for way longer than you think, Agnes said lightly. According to the records, the kindred had a short civilization. Because we had longer lives than humans, and we never turned old, humans viewed us as gods and wanted to become one of us. Indeed, we also developed a potion that could turn normal humans into the kindred. This continued for 300 years and then disaster struck. The potion was somehow replaced and the chosen humans didn't become the kindred, but instead crypt demons. The civilization and the empire collapsed. So the kindred had been developing the American continents before humans discovered them. At least that's what my family records say. And then? I still can't find a reason to go to the ruin. But if you tell me that the entire human race is in danger, I might actually consider it. After all, my ambition is to rescue all humans and become the savior. If you help me rescue Murphy, I can help you to kill someone, anyone, Agnes said. How about the person in the White House? Then you can kill me instead, Agnes said, rolling her eyes. Actually, you're quite powerful too, right? Why don't you go by yourself? Of course I'm going, but I'm not confident about going alone, Agnes said. If it's just one or two crypt demons I can help, but you said yourself that there could be many of them in the ancient ruin. If we go, we'll probably become their food. I can provide you with weapons, Agnes said. What weapons? In the vehicle outside. Weapons that I've modified myself, Agnes said. Chun Zhao walked to Agnes' car and opened the trunk. The arms inside were enough to start a war. Chun Zhao still did not want to go. Why must he take the risk? Just then, Agnes took down a pendant chain from her neck. A key was hanging on the chain. She gave the chain to Chun Zhao. If you help me, the Dracula family owes you a favor. Chun Zhao grabbed the key. Another key that looked the same. Was it the same key as the one from the grandfather? After taking the key, Chun Zhao hesitated for a while. Did the keys have the same function? Or did they represent something? Actually, I was just testing out the gun, Chun Zhao said, changing the topic. He'd indeed discovered a crypt demon earlier, but the guy ran too quickly. Or Chun Zhao's shooting skills were too bad. He was always meters away from the target. As the group forged on, the air grew damp and hot. Fork at the upper left, crypt demon male covered 35% with a shell. It discovered us. Bang bang bang. Did we hit it? No, the crypt demon hid behind the rock. It's too fast. The group had guns with strong penetrative abilities. But first they had to hit their target. If they couldn't hit anything, even the best weapons would be useless. Agnes, are you sure Murphy is still alive? Yes, I can feel that he's still alive, Agnes said. But he's in great danger now. Let's hurry up. The group continued on. Each person had around 15 to 20 kilograms of equipment. Under this weight and the damp and hot environment, it was a great test for their fitness. Head. We're already 320 meters underground. Everyone looked at Agnes. Continue, Agnes said. Just then, a man-made structure appeared ahead of them. The ground connected with a tiled tunnel. They entered an underground chamber. Just then, more bodies appeared before them. These bodies had been torn apart long ago. The corpses were piled together and it was disgusting. Agnes wiped her mouth. Her expression turned more worried. Which side? Should be this way, Agnes said, pointing. 2 crypt demons behind us. Male 50% outer shell. Bang bang bang. Hurry, hurry. Don't try fighting. The crypt demons might be surrounding us right now. We can't get surrounded. The group picked up their pace. As they got deeper, more corpses appeared. Finally, a huge abyss appeared before them. There was a 4-sided pyramid in the abyss. Built up from the bottom of the abyss, it was probably more than 100 meters tall. Murphy is inside that pyramid, Agnes said. Chapter 553 Reunion. They were at the edge of a chasm. To get down, they had to walk along the rock walls. However, just as they moved, a male crypt demon charged out from behind. Bam bam. Everyone had an amazing reaction speed. The crypt demon was shot very quickly and fell down the abyss. There was no way it could survive a fall from such a height. Move! Agnes urged again. The group began to run, but they did not dare to run too fast. After all, the downward winding path was not wide. It was only about 1 meter wide. Some places were not even 1 meter. Should they be less careful, they would actually lose their footings and fall into the abyss. Suddenly, however, the first person was grabbed and pulled up by a crypt demon hiding on the wall. Ah! Save me! Ollie! Bam bam! In the gunfire, the crypt demon and Ollie were both shot. They had no other way of saving him. The only thing they could do was shoot. Ollie and the crypt demon fell down the abyss together. Finally, after 10 minutes of running, they arrived at the bottom of the pit. They found the entrance to the pyramid. The group bolted in. Then they discovered traces of a corpse being dragged on the ground. The traces looked very fresh. It's Ollie. His body must have been dragged in. They did not see Ollie's corpse just now. Move. Stop thinking about this. Left. Chun Zhao suddenly lifted his gun. Bam! But the crypt demon coming from the left was too fast. It ran on the ground, jumped onto the ceiling and dodged sideways. Chun Zhao did not even hit it with a single bullet. Agnes pressed Chun Zhao's gun down. Stop wasting bullets. Then she raised her arm holding a modified pistol. She was the only one without a thermal sensor. Bam! Agnes' arm lifted slightly, while the crypt demon fell on the ground. Its head had been penetrated by the bullet. Chun Zhao rubbed his nose, feeling very awkward. To be honest, he was unbelievably bad at shooting. Boss, is he the helper we need? Gwyn said, displeased. Stop talking, keep moving, Agnes said coldly. The paths inside the pyramid were more complicated than the crypt itself. They extended in all directions. This gave crypt demons the chance to hide. Boom! Agnes threw out a well-timed grenade that hit a crypt demon running toward them from behind. While male crypt demons had tough bodies, they could not withstand the power of a grenade. Behind us! Careful! Suddenly, 3 male crypt demons shot toward them in the passage behind them. Bam bam! One of them was shot and collapsed, but the other 2 were still running. Bam bam bam! Agnes fired 3 times in a row. The second crypt demon fell down 3 meters away from them. However, the last crypt demon already leaped at them. Shit! No, move away! Only Chun Zhao stood still. When the crypt demon was already before him, he lifted his arm and pointed the gun at its head. Bam bam! Its blood splashed onto Chun Zhao's body. Fuck! I knew I couldn't miss at this distance. Chun Zhao kicked the crypt demon's corpse away. Everyone stared at him as if he was insane. He actually dared to let the monster go so close to him. What a ridiculous madman. Nevertheless, Chun Zhao was not totally useless. At least he was brave. Damn, I'm out of bullets. Rory, gimme a clip. Here you go. Use it wisely. As they went deeper, their ammunition was being depleted fast. Only Ollie had died. To them, the casualty was acceptable. However, as they ran low on ammo, the real danger was approaching. Go in front. It's close. Agnes' hair was somewhat messy. Her carefully made curly hair was now wet with sweat. Mom here. Suddenly, they heard Murphy's voice. The group saw some people in the stone room in the front. In addition, Ali's corpse was also by the door. Quick, go. Boss, 3 male crypt demons behind. More than 80% exoskeleton. Everyone gasped in shock. 80% exoskeleton meant that their bullets had to hit the remaining 20% to be effective. Bam bam! The bullets shot into the darkness and created some sparks. Their bullets were almost completely ineffective. They don't seem like they're going to attack us. Everyone stared at the 3 male crypt demons, alerted. They realized that the 3 crypt demons only blocked the path, but did not charge toward them directly. Then they backed into the room Murphy was in. Carlo and the rest were still alive. Counting, there were 8 or 9 people left. Mom, did you come to save me? Murphy hugged Agnes in excitement. Then he looked at Chun Zhao. Mr. Chun, you're here too. Thank you. Where's Tyler? Chun Zhao did not see Tyler in the group. Carlo and the rest seemed very dispirited. Seeing their expressions, Chun Zhao sighed. It looked like Tyler did not survive. Mr. Chun, it's great that you're here, Carlo said. With you, we'll have a much bigger chance of escaping. Nobody understood why Carlo had said that. Even Agnes had only heard about Chun Zhao from Carlo. Carlo told her that if she felt Murphy was in danger, she should go and ask Chun Zhao for help. However, Chun Zhao had not been useful on the way. Although Agnes did not regret it, Chun Zhao's performance had been very ordinary. Chun Zhao suddenly realized that there was a weak male crypt demon in the near distance. He raised his arm and shot it. Astonished, everyone looked at the crypt demon whose head had just exploded. Carlo and his team members opened their mouths and stared at Chun Zhao in disbelief. Fuck. Do you know what you've done? Asshole, you've just killed all of us. Everyone in Carlo's team cursed Chun Zhao wildly. Did I do anything wrong? Chun Zhao was confused. It's over. We're doomed. That's our last resort. Agnes and her teammates were confused too. Chun Zhao had only shot a crypt demon. Why were Carlo and the rest so desperate? Wasn't it just a crypt demon? They had killed at least 10 crypt demons on their way here. Sigh. Mr. Chun. Carlo also did not know what to say. What? Just tell me what's wrong, Chun Zhao said, frowning. Chapter 554. Public Enemy. Mr. Chun, Carlo said. Do you remember the female crypt demon we killed in the forest before? Yeah, why? Crypt demons have a matriarchy. Only one female is born in each group. And then, once something happens to the only queen, then one male in the group would turn into a female. For example, this crypt demon was the one chosen to turn into a female and become the queen. It's so weak because the transformation hadn't finished yet. Its outer shell had just fallen off. And we happened to come in and kidnap it. The male crypt demons outside are scared that we'll hurt their new queen. That's why they stopped attacking us. Instead, they leave bodies outside, wanting us to feed the bodies to it so it can finish the process. Chun Zhao rubbed his nose. Okay, it seemed that he'd really messed up. But he didn't know. So now what? Soon, the scent of death from this crypt demon will take over the entire pyramid, Carlo said. Next, they'll be completely furious and attack us crazily. We're dead. How many crypt demons are there? Chun Zhao asked. I don't know, Carlo said. I estimated no less than 100, maybe even more. Did you find what you're looking for? Agnes asked. No, we were stuck here after coming in. Murphy shook his head. So, you're saying that so many people died and you didn't find anything? Chun Zhao looked at Carlo's group. Mr. Chun, you're here now. Perhaps we can go deeper with your help. Don't even think about it. Chun Zhao rolled his eyes. Leave when you can. Leave? How? There are crypt demons everywhere out there. Agnes looked around. Maybe we can set up a trap here. What trap? Gwen, take out your dynamite packs, Agnes said. We'll make a remote bomb at the entrance. Gwen and the others moved quickly. They had a lot of tools and material with them too. Within a few minutes they'd made 2 remote bombs. Spread out and drag the bodies over, Agnes ordered. Put them by the door. Put the bombs under them. Everyone followed Agnes' commands and started moving. Don't set off the bombs if 1 or 2 crypt demons come. Wait until enough are gathered before setting them off. Everyone spread around the room. Thankfully, the room was big enough. It was the size of 3 or 4 basketball courts and had many stone benches. This was possibly where the higher-ups of the vampires had meetings. Just then, small cries traveled from the outside. They were densely packed and made everyone feel numb. Finally, a crypt demon peeked in. Bang! Agnes fired and blasted apart the demon's head. After a short silence, 2 more crypt demons rushed over. This time, everyone's guns were pointed at the entrance. So when the two crypt demons charged over, they were covered in a dozen holes instantly. Don't fire randomly. Try to preserve your ammo. There are more demons behind them. Just as Agnes finished, 4 more crypt demons charged over. Bang bang bang. Everyone fired, even though Agnes had just reminded to save their bullets. But they couldn't save up in these situations. As soon as they saw the crypt demons, they fired instinctively. The next moment, even more crypt demons rushed over. Head, should we press it? No, continue firing. Agnes was able to stay calm. Then 7 or 8 demons ran over. They couldn't fire them all immediately. One reached Chen Zhao. He pulled the trigger without panicking. Boom. Mr. Chen, they seem to have you as their target, Agnes said. Probably because you have the other crypt demon's blood. You better go die, someone from Carlo's team yelled. Chen Zhao glanced at him. That's the best. If you think I endangered you all, you don't have to save me. I'll just leave alone. Chen Zhao didn't care. Earlier he'd felt a bit apologetic, but the feeling was gone now. Good, go die. Hurry and leave. Maybe you can lead the crypt demons away too. Enough, Agnes said. Stop arguing. Now is not the time for internal fights. No matter what, Chen Zhao was a fighting force. In these situations they could only survive by being united, even though they didn't have much of a chance. After a short break, the crypt demons attacked again. This time a dozen demons charged in. There were even more behind them. Now! Agnes yelled. Press! Kaboom! The bomb under the bodies was deactivated instantly. A dozen crypt demons were overturned instantly, swallowed by the flames. Most of the demons were blasted apart, but some were very strong and didn't die immediately. Of course, these injured crypt demons didn't pose any threat. Amazing! Haha, that was awesome. We should have brought more bombs. Seeing the dozen crypt demons get destroyed, both Agnes and Carlo's team had their morale boosted. Just then, a huge crypt demon sauntered over, stepping on its brethren's bodies. Bang 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 bang. But the bullets only produce sparks when they hit the crypt demon. Oh no, this one has 95% outer shell. Only the chin isn't covered. Our bullets are useless. Any grenades? Not anymore. Everyone's guns stopped. They looked at the crypt demon nervously. This one was at least twice the size of other male crypt demons. It looked at Chen Zhao. Chen Zhao also looked back at it. Its target is that Asian. As long as it's not us, let him go die. We wouldn't be in danger if not for him. Murphy looked at him with worry. Mr. Chen. Don't go. Agnes grabbed Murphy. No one had confidence in Chen Zhao. To them, he would definitely die. Chapter 555. The correct way to use the bronze sword. Everyone wanted to see the culprit Chen Zhao being torn to pieces. Under the stare of everyone, the crypt demon leaped at Chen Zhao. Chen Zhao lifted his right arm and stuck it into the crypt demon's mouth. Everyone thought that Chen Zhao's arm would be bitten off in the next second. However, unexpectedly, the crypt demon began to struggle in pain. It could not even close its mouth, not to mention take a bite. Chen Zhao pulled his arm back and the crypt demon fell to the ground. A lot of blood oozed out from its mouth. Everyone was stunned and astonished. What happened? Why wasn't Chen Zhao's arm bitten off? Why was the crypt demon dead instead? Just now, Chen Zhao had used needle thread guidance to turn his magical power into a sharp blade. He essentially cut the crypt demon's throat from the inside. Agnes' face was filled with disbelief. How did the Asian do it? Vanity moved toward Chen Zhao subconsciously. She knew that Chen Zhao was powerful. So since the beginning, she had never joined the team to attack Chen Zhao. She had been watching the situation in silence. Like what she had expected, Chen Zhao displayed his power again. He was the only one who could kill a crypt demon in close combat. Chen Zhao stretched his shoulders and walked toward the exit. It's indeed much easier to use my fists. Guns are useless. Chen Zhao threw the gun away. He even removed his bulletproof vest. The vest was only hindering his movement. Agnes frowned. Mr. Chun, it's too dangerous. Come back. Suddenly, a crypt demon sprang at Chan Zhao from the darkness. Chan Zhao immediately grabbed the crypt demon's head and chin. Crack! The crypt demon's chin was destroyed by Chan Zhao at once. Everyone gasped. Agnes could not help but look at Carlo. He must have known it earlier. It was no wonder he had told her to ask Chan Zhao for help when needed. Since they entered the place, Chan Zhao's performance had been very mediocre. Agnes initially thought that she had found the wrong person. Now, it seemed like she had given the equipment to the wrong person. The equipment was actually a burden to Chan Zhao. Another crypt demon charged toward Chan Zhao. Chan Zhao lifted his arm, and everyone heard a clear crack. It was the sound of bones cracking. Then the crypt demon collapsed on the ground. The exoskeleton on its head had been completely broken. Everyone gasped. The exoskeleton could not even be penetrated with modified weapons. But it was actually destroyed by Chan Zhao's arm. Was his right arm a metal prosthetic? Chan Zhao rubbed his fist. It was still painful to use his hands. Suddenly, Chan Zhao remembered the bronze sword in his spatial ring. Huh, where did he get that sword? Has he been hiding the sword on him? When Agnes saw a sword appear on Chan Zhao's hand, she was utterly confused. She remembered clearly that Chan Zhao did not bring a sword. After all, on the helicopter, she was the one who had helped Chan Zhao to put on his equipment. If Chan Zhao had such a sword, there was no way she would have missed it. Just then, another large crypt demon appeared at the door. Boss, that crypt demon has 99% exoskeleton. Agnes gasped in shock. Could Chan Zhao deal with such a monster? After all, the more exoskeleton a crypt demon had, the larger its size would be. Moreover, its exoskeleton would be thicker. Suddenly, Chan Zhao jumped into the air, waving the bronze sword in his right hand. Then, he struck the sword hard down on the crypt demon's head. Ding! There were some sparks of light. The crypt demon's head lowered, but it did not take any damage. Fuck! Chan Zhao cursed. He originally thought that the bronze sword should at least cut iron like mud. In the end, it was only a blunt weapon. Looks like he can't deal with that crypt demon either, Agnes thought. Thoughts raced across Chan Zhao's mind. The crypt demon's exoskeleton was way too thick. Even his right fist might not be able to smash it. It seemed like he had to activate the mouth of Glutton. Chan Zhao called on his magical power. However, it did not activate the mouth, but rather the bronze sword. The bronze sword started to vibrate and produce a soft buzz. Huh. Chan Zhao realized that after the bronze sword received the magical power, it was covered in a very thin layer of qi. Could this be the correct way to use the bronze sword? Maybe I should try it. Chan Zhao stepped forward. The large crypt demon pounced at him. Chan Zhao waved the sword at the monster. When the bronze sword touched the crypt demon, it sliced into its head as if it was a piece of tofu. Howl! The crypt demon's forelimbs lost their strength. Its head crashed onto the ground and its hind legs jerked a few times before stopping. This was really the correct way to use the bronze sword. The old turtle should have given him a manual. Everyone stared at Chan Zhao in bewilderment. Chan Zhao had just killed such a monster with a sword. Nevertheless, more crypt demons had gathered outside by then. There were so many of them that even Chan Zhao had a headache. Instead of attacking, they simply stared at Chan Zhao. Of course, they did not have eyes. But that did not stop them from staring at him. Carlo looked at Chan Zhao, his eyes glowing with fanaticism. Chan Zhao was a natural explorer. If Chan Zhao could join his team, it would be perfect. They would be able to overcome all difficulties. Eventually, Chan Zhao ran into the crypt demon troop himself. The rest stared at his back, startled. How did it feel to see a man charge into a group of monsters? The first thought everyone had was that Chan Zhao had lost his mind. But he really did that. The bronze sword in Chan Zhao's hand could cut through everything. At least, when it was filled with magical power, it could slice through anything like tofu. To humans, weapons were like their talons and fangs. After they had their own weapons, they could begin to conquer wild beasts. Nonetheless, there were too many crypt demons. Chun Zhao would still occasionally be scratched or bitten. The rest did not dare to leave the room. It was pure darkness outside the stone chamber. They could only judge the situation using thermal sensors and sound. The sound of fighting and killing continued without a pause. It went on for 30 minutes. Finally, it was quiet. Chun Zhao's entire body was covered in blood, both his and crypt demons. Even he did not know how many crypt demons he had killed. It was a lot. The whole passage was piled with the corpses of crypt demons. While Qingyi armor had protected him from most damage, he was not invincible. Chun Zhao could feel that there were still crypt demons staring at him in the darkness. If he were to fall now, the hidden crypt demons would definitely charge forward and recklessly tear him into pieces. Chun Zhao turned around and walked back into the room. Let's go. Chapter 556. Blasting Carlo's head. When everyone went to the entrance of the chamber, they saw that the ground was littered with limbs. But they were all from crypt demons. If they were a human's limbs, it might be easier to accept. But now, one human had butchered so many crypt demons. This was beyond their imagination. Chun Zhao was still dripping with blood. Murphy, come patch me up. Of all these people, Chun Zhao only trusted Murphy. Murphy hurried over to Chun Zhao. Boss, are you okay? I'm fine, Chun Zhao said coolly. I won't be dying. In reality, he was hurting everywhere. It was hard to pretend to be macho. Right now, the guys who had been the fiercest earlier didn't dare to speak to Chun Zhao anymore. They could only hide in the back with their heads down, pretending nothing had happened. Let's go. Mr. Chun, Carlo suddenly called out. We're already here. Why don't we go to the next level? We're so close to our destination. Chun Zhao turned around and looked at him. You weren't the one who fought. You really think I'm your fighter now? But don't you find it regretful? No, I don't find it regretful at all, Chun Zhao said indifferently. I just want to go home now, take a bath and sleep in my bed. I'll kill whoever stops me from going home to sleep. Murphy, is this what you think too? Carlo realized he couldn't persuade Chun Zhao, so he could only find a breakthrough in Murphy. I'm tired too, Agnes said. Murphy, if you want to die again, just go ahead. She could tell that Chun Zhao was upset. After all, she was the one who'd forced him to come. Now that Murphy was found, if he caused more trouble, he'd probably anger Chun Zhao. Even though Chun Zhao was covered in injuries, he probably still had leftover strength. No one dared to stop him if he wanted to kill someone. Agnes' original goal was only to rescue Murphy. She didn't come to search for treasures or potions. Carlo's breathing grew heavier. He wasn't willing. It was so close. But Chun Zhao refused to help him. He really wanted to raise his gun and aim at Chun Zhao. But he lacked the courage. Could his gun really kill this guy? If he failed, he would be the one dying instead. Carlo finally made a decision. Without warning, he grabbed Murphy and pressed the gun barrel to Murphy's temple. Mr. Chun, if you don't want Murphy to die, you better go to the top and get the immortality potion and blood badge. Otherwise, Murphy will die. Carlo had decided to use Murphy as a hostage. Chun Zhao only had to listen to him. Then Carlo would take Murphy away from here and find somewhere to hide after leaving the site. Carlo, how can you do this? Murphy was still too naive. Can you not joke like this? Carlo, do you want to die? Agnes was also furious. She didn't think that Carlo would go to such extremes and take her son as a hostage. Let him go now and I'll pretend nothing happened. Chun Zhao looked at Carlo with a dark expression. Mr. Chun, either you ignore Murphy and kill me, or you listen obediently. Staring at Carlo, Chun Zhao took out the bronze sword. Seeing him take out the sword, the surrounding people stepped back subconsciously. Bang! There was a sudden gunshot. Carlo whipped his head around and stared at Fanity with disbelief. Why? Unfortunately, he didn't have time to hear Fanity's explanation. Murphy stood in place a bit frightened. Fanity looked at Carlo's body and stated, I just didn't want to die here. She looked at everyone. Any complaints? What complaints? You already killed the man. If anyone complained now, they would become the enemy of that Asian monster. Seems like everyone has unified thoughts. Mr. Chun, let's leave this place. Chun Zhao put his sword away. No one knew where he hid the sword. Now they could only use the lights on their helmets to illuminate the surroundings. Thankfully, no crypt demons would attack them now. These crypt demons aren't wild beasts with low intelligence, Agnes said. They seem to have a group mindset. What was group mindset? Humans were a species with a group mindset. It meant that they instinctively gave in to logic and used logic to make decisions. In other words, they weren't complete beasts. Chun Zhao could feel them use their special senses to watch them leave. Oh. Perhaps they were memorizing Chun Zhao to find him for revenge later. But Chun Zhao was honestly tired today. He didn't want to keep wasting time here. Perhaps he should find a time to kill all the crypt demons here. Okay, that was still a bit difficult. The crypt demons that he'd killed were only a small portion. If all of them came, even Chun Zhao would have to surrender. Sigh. He had to do less of these unbeneficial things. If he'd known, he would not have agreed to the $1 million payment. Was it too late to turn back now? All he got was a key that he didn't know what he could do with. And the promise with the Dracula family that seemed useless too. Could he make them give him $1 billion with the promise? After leaving, he realized the air outside had become fresher. Mr. Chun, I apologize to you for Professor Carlo's actions. Fanity looked at him with sincerity. Chun Zhao didn't like beating around the bush. He was more willing to talk to logical and smart people like Fanity, instead of crazy people like Carlo who only thought of expeditions. Do you have any plans for the future? Continue the expeditions, of course, Fanity said. Tyler was dead. She'd also killed Carlo with her own hands. This didn't mean that her pursuit had ended. Then goodbye. Chun Zhao waved. Agnes called the helicopter over. They disappeared from the air and soon were close to Mirror Lake. Don't land near the house. Land outside the forest further away. Chun Zhao didn't want Fei Lai to see him covered in wounds. Boss, let me help you back. I'm not dead yet. I don't need help. Chun Zhao snuck back home and dove into the river map. What was the best place to heal? Obviously, it was inside the river map. There was a 1,000 time difference in time. He could spend 1,000 hours in the map and only 1 hour would pass outside. He could heal himself in peace here. Chapter 557. Old Turtle entertaining himself. The old turtle turned into his old man form. He looked at the very injured Chun Zhao. Don't tell me you went to experience the meat grinder. Why would you think that someone would willingly experience that? Chun Zhao rolled his eyes. The old turtle's hobby was a bit too unusual. Did you bring the items that I wanted? Nope. As soon as I left the river map, I was forced onto a helicopter by someone. I've seen helicopters on TV. I really want to try it myself. Don't ask me to get a helicopter for you because I can't. How about a remote control helicopter? Oh. The old turtle had been too lonely. Fine. I'll go to the supermarket soon. I really want to go to the supermarket. Would you like me to open a supermarket for you? Sure. Fuck off. Even if Chun Zhao really opened a supermarket in here, would the old turtle be able to shop and be the cashier all by himself? Chun Zhao applied some ointment on himself and lay on the ground. He was really tired, too tired. He needed to sleep now. After who knows how long, Chun Zhao heard the sound of fighting. When he opened his eyes, he saw two old turtles, one black and one white, fighting with each other. They punched and kicked each other wildly. It was an intense battle. Why were there two old turtles? Was he alone for too long, so his negative emotions materialized? And then they attacked each other. Chun Zhao imagined all sorts of things in his mind. Stop, the mortal is awake. Then the two old turtles combined into one. What was that? Oh, when I'm bored, I'll fight myself. It's called cloning. This old guy can't be more silly. To spend his time, he even thought of such a thing. Can I learn it? Nope, humans can't learn it. Chun Zhao was very disappointed. If he could learn this technique, it would be amazing. Do you have any kind of divine techniques for me? Nope, all my abilities came from birth. Chun Zhao was upset. You've cultivated this for like millions of years. Can't you be a bit better? Like inventing some super powerful cultivation methods. What a useless old man. What's the use of an old man who only knows how to fight with himself? How many clones can you create? As many as I want. Why don't you create 2 armies and fight with each other? Oh, good idea. Why didn't I think of it? In an instant, the old turtle split into 100,000, divided into the white team and the black team. Then without any delay, war erupted. Chun Zhao sat at the side watching the 2 parties beat each other up. They were actually trying to kill each other. How did it feel to watch 100,000 white-haired old men have a group fight? A black-shirt old man lay before Chun Zhao. He was about to go and help him up. However, a white-shirt old man came and crash-landed on him. Chun Zhao pulled one of the clones out. Old turtle, apart from cloning, do you know anything else? Like disguise? Turn into someone else? Yes, why? Why don't you turn into Scarlet from the Avengers? It's more interesting to see 100,000 Scarlets fight. I can't use cloning during disguise. I can't use disguise during cloning. Ah! After a few hours, all the 100,000 clones died. Puff, what a satisfying fight. Old turtle, turn into Scarlet. Okay, done. Never mind. Change back. What? Don't you like it? Or do I not look like her? Your face does, Chun Zhao sighed. If you don't want to change your body, that's fine. At least remove the beard. Do you know you've just destroyed my perfect impression of her? Nevertheless, as Chun Zhao recovered from his injuries, the old turtle did kill a lot of boredom for him. Chun Zhao stayed in the river map for 10 days. It was only more than 10 minutes in the real world. Splash! Fei Lai was awakened by a loud splash. She got out of bed and walked to the balcony, where she saw huge waves in the lake. Someone was swimming in the lake. Chun, is it you? Chun Zhao climbed ashore. He had just placed the old turtle's internal alchemy in the lake. However, because of its weight, some of it had sunk into the mud. Due to the depth of the lake, the top portion of the internal alchemy was about 10 centimeters above the surface. It looked like a small island at the center of the lake. The internal alchemy would constantly improve the surrounding environment and spiritual qi. Chun Zhao returned home and changed his clothes. The underlings quickly removed the dirty clothes. The underling was really the all-round best servant. Apart from the fact that they should not be exposed, they had almost no flaws. To Fei Lai, it was just a single day. But to Chun Zhao, he had not seen Fei Lai in 10 days. Fei Lai, I miss you. Fei Lai could feel that Chun Zhao was particularly enthusiastic today. He was more intense than usual. Fei Lai tried her best to cooperate with him. However, after a few rounds, Fei Lai could not take it anymore. But Chun Zhao's desire was still high. Darling, let me rest for a while. Just a while. Chun Zhao wanted more, but looking at the exhausted Fei Lai, he gave up. The next day, Chun Zhao woke up, fully energized. Fei Lai was still in bed. It was a hard night for her. She could not take Chun Zhao's wild attacks at all. After lying for half an hour, Fei Lai rushed to work. On the other hand, Chun Zhao went to the supermarket. The old turtle wanted many things. Some were not even available in the supermarket, so Chun Zhao would have to order them online. For example, a motor generator. Although he only wanted a small one, it was definitely unavailable in the supermarket. Because Chun Zhao bought many items, the supermarket offered free delivery. All the staff knew where Chun Zhao lived. They also knew that he was basically the richest person in Mountain Town. The female staff in the supermarket kept making eyes at him. When Chun Zhao left the supermarket, he received a call from Sienna. Chun, are you free now? Yup. What's up? Remember last time I told you about the supernatural security team that Movich Tudis had formed? Yes. You even said that Chris is in charge of training them on how to escape. They seem to be too arrogant, as if they can handle all kinds of situations. Can you teach them a lesson? What do I have to do? Let them spend a week in the hospital. So you want me to go and beat them up? Maybe not. After all, they're going to face supernatural events, so I hope that they can be attacked by supernatural powers. Chun Zhao gave it some thought. After 10 tonight, bring them outside Mirror Lake. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.